We shall now have a moment of silence, meditation, and prayers. Thank you. You may be seated. Honour members, you are welcome. We have the apologies from Honour Member Mukabela and Honour Member Foko, and no one has also submitted an apology except those. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the chairperson, Honour Member.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. While we're on these apologies, can I perhaps just ask, because I see on the speakers list we've got the person from ACT again. This is now a year that he hasn't been here. How do we justify that we keep on paying a person that's literally has never been to one meeting or plenary? I want to raise it, and I think it's an issue that I know the rules and orders are dealing with this, but we can't do this. It's not fair, and we should take all their money away actually as a party. I mean, we're paying a ghost worker as we stand here at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Honour Member.
Speaker, I believe that this matter belongs to multi-party whips where we can exhaust it before we lift it to the Speaker's office.
I could hardly hear you, Honour Member.
I was saying the matter belongs to the multi-party whips. We can exhaust it there and bring it to the Speaker's office.
I think this matter has to be attended to expeditiously, and I would await the report from the multi-party whips and take the matter forward. The issue is noted. I was interrupted when I was just welcoming the presence of the chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders in the province and the Khoisan, as well as the executive, Morena Mopedi. And then welcome all of you, honorable members, and we, as the invited guest, you're welcome. We now proceed to motions on money bills. The acting secretary shall read motion 1.
That the second reading debate on the appropriation bill B3 of 2025 be continued. Vote 1, Office of the Premier.
The vote before the House is vote 1, Office of the Premier. The Honourable Premier, Mayor Letuwa Matai, may now address the House.
Honourable Speaker of the Free State Legislature, Honourable Deputy Speaker, Honourable members of the Legislature and the Executive Council, Executive Mayors, Speakers and Councillors, Boetapele ba ntlo ya Marena le Khoisan, the Acting Director General and Head of Department, Chairpersons of our public entities and Chief Executive Officers, leaders of the African National Congress and Alliance, leaders of faith-based and civil society organizations, leaders of the business community, comrades, compatriots and friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Honourable Speaker, This is, and I quote, the year of renewal to make the government a more effective instrument of the people to achieve the vision of the Freedom Charter. The people shall govern, the people shall share in the country's wealth. As I present the 2025-26 Office of the Premier budget vote, I am compelled to reflect on the 70 years legacy of the Freedom Charter, which represent the wisdom of our ancestors, the fearlessness of our people, and the courage of generations to move this country forward. Not only do the Freedom Charter's principles of equality, justice, and shared prosperity continue to define the essence of our struggle, but most importantly, our never-ending aspiration of a better life for all. And upholding these principles requires us to root out corruption, improve government efficiency, and promote participatory democracy. Staying tuned to the Freedom Charter demands that we direct social spending towards the marginalized communities, eliminate wasteful expenditure, and invest in infrastructure to ignite inclusive growth. Free State must work for all, and Free State will work for all. Honourable Speaker, we gather here today, still mourning the untimely passing of Comrade Benny Kotswani, a leader of immense strength and unwavering conviction, who left us just a little over 2 weeks ago on the 30th of March 2025. We also hold dear the memory of Mogo Evodia Sebutelo, who passed away on the 26th of March 2025. She was the mother of our steadfast comrade Tekeza Sebutelo, the first provincial secretary of the African National Congress in the Free State after the democratic transition in 1994. Comrade Evodia was a remarkable leader in her own right, having served on the ANC Women's League Provincial Executive Committee and as a ward councillor in Mangaung Metropolitan Council and a former employee of the Free State Legislature. These individuals were towering figures committed to service delivery excellence. In their memory and honor, we commit to live up to their enduring legacy and improve the living conditions of our people. Rising unemployment, deepening poverty, and persistent inequality remains our concerns. Amid diminishing budgets, our path to prosperity demands that we work together to confront these challenges. At the beginning of the 7th administration, we pledged to be decisive, making tough decisions, but necessary decisions. This remains our goal. We need to unlock our province's potential to generate jobs, lift people out of poverty, and bridge the gaps of inequality. Our efforts will be driven by a government that is effective, responsive, innovative, and ethical. It was former President of the United States of America, Barack Obama, who said, and I quote, "A budget is more than just a series of numbers on a page. It is an embodiment of our values," close quote. Used correctly, a budget does not restrict you, it empowers you. It is a tool to guide spending and achieve financial goals. To quote author and businessman Dave Ramsey, and I quote, "A budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went," close quote. Honourable Speaker, as the coordinating department, the Office of the Premier will ensure the success of realization of the ideals of the Freedom Charter. To this end, work has already begun. We'll soon launch ExCommits, the People Community Outreach Initiative, expected to foster shared, collective, inclusive, and transparent service delivery approach. The approach will allow citizens to directly interact with members of the Executive Council, allowing them to voice their concerns and receive updates on implementation of government projects and programs. Through integrated planning, coordination, monitoring, and evaluation, we'll oversee the effective implementation of government priorities. This responsibility places the success of this government's performance on the Office of the Premier. The Centre must therefore remain steadfast and resolute. The Centre must hold for things not to fall apart. We'll therefore lead from the front and lead by example. Our people have high expectations, and it is our duty to turn their hopes into reality. From this moment forward, our deeds will carry more weight than our words. We'll build a Free State that works for all. Our work will be informed by the following national priorities as outlined in the Medium-Term Development Plan. driving inclusive growth and job creation, reducing poverty and tackle the high cost of living, building a capable, ethical, and developmental state. These strategic priorities symbolizes our vision of leading the Free State Province towards service excellence. Honourable Speaker, on Program 1 is intended to drive efficient, transparent, unified, and accountable government. This role includes upholding effective governance and ensuring sound resource management. In our quest to meet the demands and expectations of our people, we are in process to refine our systems, methods, and execution. The critical posts of the Director General and heads of departments for social development, agriculture and rural development, and economic small business development and tourism have been advertised. We'll ensure that successful candidates will lead boldly, strategically, providing the much needed results-driven leadership. For the Office of the Premier, the Director General will oversee the daily administration, steering and aligning the provincial government's inherent operations. This function will ensure cohesive planning, coordination, execution, and oversight of government initiatives. Through the Executive Council and respective clusters, Forum of Heads of Department, and the Premier's Coordinating Forum will ensure coherence and collaboration by strengthening the provincial cluster system and other intergovernmental coordination platforms. These structures are crucial for joint planning and decision-making, resolving cross-cutting implementation challenges, as well as promoting the whole of government responses to complex development priorities. We'll lead this coordinating effort to drive integrated planning and implementation, outlining clear targets, timelines, and responsibilities in our medium-term development plan and programs of action. To enhance effectiveness, the Premier and executive support components will be strengthened, ensuring that there's a drive to forge partnership with key stakeholders critical to administrative success. Honourable Speaker, as we endeavour to stabilize the economy, we need to do more with less. These are trying times of austerity measures. We cannot afford to waste even a cent. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure will be a thing of the past. I wish to draw your attention to the findings of 2023-24 MFMA by the Auditor General Metsakan Maluleke, who visited the province on the 8th April 2025. The Auditor General presented an analysis of performance, financial health, and governance of our municipalities. The report revealed that municipalities in the Free State continue to experience financial stability, governance, and service delivery challenges. Among the most pressing concerns is persistent revenue management challenges, which contribute significantly to escalating municipal debt. These challenges signal deep-rooted deficiencies in internal controls, supply chain management, and consequence management. While some improvements have been made, the pace of reform is slow. Our people need service delivery now, and more of the same will not change the state of our municipalities. We need to get the basics right. We need to push harder to professionalize our municipalities, enforce accountability, enhance financial and performance management. We'll intensify implementation of the district development model to enhance integrated service delivery coordination. We're also strengthening our support to municipalities through capacity building initiatives, skills development, and improved monitoring mechanisms. We have established a multidisciplinary team involving COCTA, Treasury, and other stakeholders to assist distressed municipalities. Importantly, we'll establish a unit in the Office of the Premier to work closely with COCTA to provide coordination, planning, performance, intervention, monitoring, and evaluation support to municipalities. Honourable Speaker, risk and ethics management remains at the heart of our work. Given the importance of this function, we'll establish an ethics management office to embed an ethical culture throughout the provincial government. I'm pleased to report that we have achieved 100% and 98% respectively. For senior management services and salary levels 9 to 10 in compliance with the financial disclosure framework. We'll also ensure compliance with a new determination for the 2025 financial year for all public servants to disclose their financial interest. As part of this process, lifestyle audit will be conducted. This is how we'll cultivate professional, ethical conduct in government. We are determined to attain an unqualified audit opinion as a promise to efficient and accountable governance. People deserve no less than this. We're working closely with the Auditor General for support and guidance in this regard. We are implementing the Audit Action Plan in order to improve our audit outcomes and therefore financial governance and administration. Our Shared Audit Committee continues to provide oversight of internal control, risk management, and financial governance of the department. Honourable Speaker, we oversaw and coordinated the vetting process of HOD and supply chain and financial management officials in government. All 42 officials in this environment have submitted their security clearance form to State Security Agency, and vetting process is still underway. In this regard, I want to thank SSA for always being available to assist my office. We recently received a report of 3 HODs on the status after being vetted. Feedback was fairly encouraging and positive. We are prioritizing comprehensive security assessment of various risk areas in government. We'll invest in advancing technological solutions to improve government security in order to close identified gaps. Importantly, we'll invest in cybersecurity to safeguard our information technology systems and networks from cyber attacks. The Internet of Things has brought with it widespread cyber crimes that include hacking, phishing, spoofing, and malware. We'll work with our security agencies to protect and enhance our digital infrastructure against attack. Program 1 has therefore been allocated 110,958,000 rands to fulfill its responsibilities in this 2025-26 financial year. And now, Speaker, the work of Program 2 is the backbone of effective governance. It ensures that our systems, processes, and people are equipped to deliver services efficiently, transparently, and accountably. As we table this budget, we recognize that strong institutions are not just administrative necessities, they are the foundation of public trust. Our vision for institutional development is clear: a government that is agile, responsive, and future-ready. This requires continuous investment in skills, technology, and systems that enhance service delivery. We are modernizing our work, eliminating inefficiencies, and embedding a culture of excellence. Importantly, institutional strengthening is not just about structures, it is about the people. Training and leadership development are essential to build a capable and ethical public service. We'll assess our structures to improve operational effectiveness and efficiency. Our organizational development unit will implement a modern and effective structure to serve the needs of the people. Work to ensure professional, ethical, and development-oriented public service is led by our Human Resource Management and Advice Unit. Emphasis is on building human capabilities and enablers of effectiveness. We are proud that women constitute 60% of 45 permanent posts that were recently filled. In 2025-26 financial year, we plan to appoint 9 senior managers, prioritizing youth and persons with disabilities. We are committed to introduce the Premier's Batupele Service Excellence Awards to pay tribute to all hardworking public servants. Honourable Speaker, skills development is a foundation of economic growth and social progress. We have made many significant strides in enhancing the capabilities of public servants through targeted skills development program championed by FSTDI. During the 2024-25 financial year, we successfully implemented the PSIDA service delivery and financial management programs. Through this initiative with the FSTDI, we trained 250 officials on service delivery and 100 on financial management. These programs provide credits towards nationally recognized qualifications. The FSTDI also rolled out 4 accredited qualifications, NQF level 3 to 6, with 201 participants currently enrolled across our municipalities. These programs are set for completion in 2026, further strengthening the skills base of our provincial workforce. Additionally, we are proud to announce the successful completion of an NQF level 7 qualification equivalent to a degree by 9 officials, with a second cohort of 10 officials set to graduate in the coming year. Beyond public service training, the province remains dedicated to tackling youth unemployment through strategic partnerships with various sectors. In the past financial year, we exceeded our target by providing skills development opportunities to 6,087 unemployed youth, investing about 396 million in their futures. In this financial year, we will support 7,800 young people. Through career development service expos conducted at the beginning of the 2025 year, we were able to connect learners and job seekers with further education and employment opportunities. We value the contributions by the SETAs, especially MERSETA, Services SETA, LG SETA, ETDP SETA, and Construction SETA. Our ICT unit has implemented e-learning management system for the FSTDI in order to allow it to reach wider audience through the website and mobile application. This is in line with our mandate to enhance digital skills for the future as part of changing the digital landscape of the province. Through the SA Connect Phase 2 project, schools and health facilities in Lejoliputswa District Municipality will benefit from broadband connectivity. This will include provision of Wi-Fi access to communities. We are also overhauling our ICT infrastructure. This process entails reconfiguring the government website to incorporate necessary technological advancement and serve as a primary source of information. We'll develop the provincial broad-based strategy and digital transformation strategy. These strategies will serve as the cornerstone of integrated technologies in the development of infrastructure projects. Honourable Speaker, our legal service unit will continue to provide services to all provincial government departments. This role will entail ensuring compliance with legislation, provision of legal advice, and contract management. In the last financial year, we spearheaded the development of the provincial government communication policy and standard operating procedures for communicators. These strategic documents will go a long way in professionalizing communication efforts in the province. In 2025-26 financial year, the Office of the Premier will facilitate a process for the review of the provincial communication strategy framework to ensure that we provide timely and accurate information. We'll also digitize the provincial government's newsletter, which remains a platform to publicize government programs, activities, and events. The newsletter is distributed at the public places throughout the province. To widen our reach, CDWs will be utilized to deliver the newsletters. We'll embark on a process to fast-track the implementation of the public information platform to disseminate government information in a responsive, innovative, and unmediated form. Media monitoring is one of the strategic functions with a significant influence on shaping narratives, gauging public perception, and employing effective communication techniques in the Free State. Towards the end of 2024, the Office of the Premier forged ahead to constitute a rapid response team, convening weekly to assess the media environment whilst planning in a coordinated and integrated manner. In this financial year, we'll introduce a media monitoring tool to amplify government's efforts to avert potential crises, misinformation, and public concerns by responding proactively and correcting inaccuracies. Therefore, a total of 270,464,000 rands has been allocated to Program 2 in the year 2025-26 financial year to perform its function. Honourable Speaker, in a complex and resource-constrained environment, the need for integrated and result-driven planning has never been more critical. Not only does this appreciate the importance of planning as a prerequisite for development, but also as an integral part of budgeting and reporting. The Office of the Premier, as a strategic center of government, plays a vital role in shaping and steering the province's developmental direction through coordinated planning, policy alignment, and institutional oversight. We'll continue to ensure that government functions as a single and responsive system rather than fragments of isolated departments. We are strengthening integrated impact by reinforcing alignment between strategic plans, annual performance plans, MTDP, the Free State Growth and Development Strategy, and District Development Model. Work is underway to develop a provincial DDM implementation framework to guide the 3 spheres of government to drive integrated planning, coordination, and implementation of District 1 plans that reflects local priorities and drive integrated service delivery. Following extensive consultation and refinement processes, the revised Free State Growth and Development Strategy will be presented to the Executive Council for consideration and approval in this financial year. The revised strategy provides a clear evidence-based development trajectory for the province through 2050, shaped by national and provincial priorities, community needs, and spatial development potential. Equally, the implementation of the newly developed Provincial Spatial Development Framework in conjunction with the COGTA will ensure that our long-term spatial vision and land use patterns align with economic opportunities, infrastructure investment, and environmental sustainability. After successful completion of the District Social Compact, Imbizos will host the Provincial Social Compact as the ultimate hallmark of commitment between government and the people to work together. We'll soon host a provincial business breakfast roundtable discussion with the business sector in the province, where we'll also introduce the members of the Premier's Economic Advisory Council. Honorable Speaker, the Premier's Coordinating Forum will continue to be a strategic and important medium for forging alignment between the different spheres of government. Given the importance of the institution of traditional leadership as a constituent part of our democracy, we'll continue to monitor and report on the implementation of the commitments made during departmental engagements with traditional and Khoisan leaders in the province. Marena, during the 2024-25 financial year, we strengthened international relations with several countries and maintained existing relations. We have made significant strides in several key areas, including hosting the Free State India Business Dialogue to encourage investment and trade between the Free State and the Republic of India. Through the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program and China Aid Program, government officials will be sent for short courses to develop and advance their technical skills in these countries. Establishing strong relationships in the SADC region and Africa in general also remains a priority for us. Inward missions to showcase provincial development and outward trade missions will be undertaken to strengthen our relations and attract foreign direct investment. There is no doubt that attainment of inclusive growth and job creation is predicated on the implementation of the major infrastructure projects. We'll therefore continue to strengthen our relations with particularly Infrastructure South Africa, DBSA, and DTIC to assist in planning, coordinating, funding, and implementation of major infrastructure projects. Engagements are also underway between the Free State and Gauteng provinces in implementing the Vaal River City Development Initiative. Members of the Executive Council of the 2 provinces, including affected municipalities, will soon meet to agree on an implementation plan. Honorable Speaker, the Special Program Unit continues to play a central role in driving strategic coordination of key initiatives across the province, promoting a government that is responsive to gender, youth, and disability issues. In 2025-26 financial year, the component will host the Provincial Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Summit to develop an actionable plan against addressing GBVF, building on previous resolutions. The sanitary rollout program will continue to champion women's dignity through education and advocacy, tackling stigma and equity. A dialogue of employees with disabilities will also be convened to advance the finalization of the Provincial Disability Framework. We'll also launch the Free State Provincial Growth Disability Forum to serve as a platform to raise awareness, educate, integrate, and create opportunities for persons with disability. We'll establish the Youth Advisory Panel to provide strategic policy advice, ensuring young people have a voice in their development. We'll undertake the military veterans roadshows to honor and support veterans and connect them with opportunities. These initiatives highlight our commitment to equitable development, stakeholder engagement, and the elevation of vulnerable groups, ensuring a more inclusive and prosperous Free State. A total of 79,590,000 rands has been allocated to Program 3 to achieve these important deliverables in the 2025-26 financial year. Program 4, Honourable Speaker, on monitoring and evaluation. If you cannot measure it, you cannot achieve it. This makes monitoring and evaluation vital for driving progress and change. In the 2024 financial year, the Monitoring and Evaluation Unit was instrumental in laying the foundation for institutionalization of monitoring and reporting of the MTDP. The 2025 financial year will be the first year of implementation of MTDP, which replaces the MTSF. We'll continue with the work and to monitor and report of the MTDP. Sorry, my apologies. The MTDP priorities will form core part of the work of the provincial cluster through the development of the program of action. This will ensure oversight and tracking of our province implementation of this plan. The MTDP will be reviewed mid-term and at the end of the 5-year term to assess progress towards the attainment of our development trajectory. This will be coupled with a function of monitoring of non-financial performance of provincial departments and provision of support to the portfolio committees of the Free State Legislature responsible for oversight on non-financial performance information. In the past financial year, the unit has made strides to ensure accountability against planned objectives of provincial departments. Performance reviews will now be undertaken on quarterly basis. In measuring the effectiveness and impact of our programs, the evaluation function is a crucial element that cannot be ignored. In the new financial year, the Monitoring and Evaluation Unit will be conducting an evaluation to assess the effectiveness of community development work program. This is in order to identify areas of weaknesses and strengths. The outcome of the evaluation will be instrumental in refocusing and strengthening this program. Honourable Speaker, we advance the local government management improvement model, collaborating with COGTA and DPME to enhance municipal performance in the Karib district, finalizing improvement plans for Kopano, Mokare, and Letseme municipalities with targeted interventions to address service delivery gaps. The LGMIM is currently under review by the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, and once this process has been completed, we'll continue to monitor the institutional capacity of municipalities. We have also developed a provincial institutional capability monitoring tool to monitor the institutional capability of provincial departments across a number of key indicators that include financial management, human resource, and anti-corruption measures. The monitoring and evaluation framework tracks SOPA and budget vote speeches, injunctions on a quarterly basis to ensure implementation accountability. Incomplete infrastructure projects remain closely monitored, with progress reports submitted to HODs for corrective action. Through citizen-based monitoring oversight, we work with service delivery departments to determine citizen service delivery satisfaction. An annual frontline service delivery monitoring plan is being implemented in collaboration with the Department of Performance Monitoring and Evaluation, focusing on key frontline services. The results of these monitoring projects are utilized to have discussions with different sectors on improvements needed. Through the Provincial Intervention Unit, we'll continue to foster public participation by providing citizens with the means to access information and engage with government programs. This is in line with our unwavering commitment to promote social and economic development through integrated service delivery programs. Through our Tucson service centers, we'll therefore continue to take these essential government services closer to our communities. We have rolled out services to over 30 towns out of the 85 towns in the province, and the response of our people is overwhelming. The recent rollout was in the Eastern Free State areas of Mahulukweng, Greater Tsiami, and Intabazwe. We are pleased to announce that as of the 31st March 2025, the Free State Presidential Hotline performance was 99.40%, signaling our exceptional performance in responding to service delivery issues. This year, we'll establish a contact center to enable people to report service delivery issues through telephone, email, letters, and walk-ins. The CDWs plays a pivotal role in connecting communities with government services and informing government structures about community needs. As part of our work to resuscitate our CDW program, we had consultations with Mokaka, Metsimaholo, Mafube, and Nwate local municipalities, including Fezile Dabi District Municipality, to forge alignment and cooperation for improved and better outcomes. In 2025-26 financial year, we'll roll out CDW's information sharing and empowerment seminars with the aim of empowering all of them, the 262 CDWs, with information on key government programs. We'll prioritize infrastructure project implementation engagements with various departments to resolve issues commonly faced during infrastructure rollouts, ensuring past mistakes are not repeated, and where bottlenecks are identified, effective corrective measures are devised. This approach will help avoid fragmented outcomes and enhance the efficiency of infrastructure implementation for improved service delivery. For this critical work, Honorable Speaker, to be undertaken by Program 4, an amount of 172,559,000 rands have been made available. Honorable Speaker, this budget presents a hopeful moment to unite our shared endeavors in recalibrating our environment towards a free state that works for all. It is indeed a testament to our resolve to uphold the Freedom Charter's vision. Now is the time for renewal, calling upon all of us to reaffirm our dedication to a meaningful public service. Let us move forward, united in purpose, to deliver on our promises to the people. I look forward to the support of this team of dedicated MECs and the HODs, as well as all members of the House. Meki kupela, ho bohle ba tsebang hore re ile ra bewa ke setjhaba ho se sebeletsa, mme mesebetsi ya rona e ska ba ka hara di-office, mosebetsi wa rona e be setjhabeng. Jwalo ka ke ile ka bua ha ne ke qala ke bula mona parlamenteng, ke ile ka bolela hore matona ha ra tshwanela ho etsa mosebetsi wa rona o moholo di-office, hobane setjhaba se re kgethetse hore re be ka hara bona, re phele le bona. Mme di-budget tsena ha se di fetile, re lebelletswe kaofela hore re lo phela ka hara setjhaba se re beileng mona tsatsing lena, re etse mosebetsi o setjhaba se re kgethetseng ona, re phele le bona, re utlwe ditaba tsa bona, mme re be le dikarabo hore na dikarabo tseo di tla ba ka tsela e jwang. La karabo ntho e se seo motho a se lebelletseng, seo re se lebelletse setjhaba se lebelletseng ho rona ke hore re ba jwetse dikarabo hore na dikarabo tseo di tla ba utlwisa bohloko ha fela batho ba rona ba thotse dikarabo. Mme ke sa boela ke ipiletsa hore ka mora tsona tsohle ha re tsamayeng re lo phelang ka hara setjhaba se re kgethileng, mme re ba fe supporto, re tsebe di-challenge tse ba phelang le tsona, hobane re la ra itlama ha re nka kano ra re kontraka ya rona ke ya rona le setjhaba. My wholehearted appreciation also goes to the Acting Director General, senior managers, and all staff members of the Office of the Premier. I therefore, Honourable Speaker, table the Office of the Premier's budget for the 2025-26 financial year as summarized in Annexure A for your consideration. Baya danki, diabulela, I thank you very much.
We proceed to the debate on the Honorable Premier's presentation of the budget, vote 1 of vote of the Office of the Premier. Honorable Sifuba.
Thank you, Honorable Premier. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Free State Legislature, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, Chief Whip, Deputy Chief Whip, members of the Free State Legislature. Honorable Speaker, I rise in this August House today in support of the budget vote that has been tabled by the Premier here this morning. Let me commend the Premier on a focused, values-driven, and transformative budget vote under the rallying call of the Year of Renewal to make government a more effective instrument of the people. This is not just a slogan, but a call to action grounded firmly on the resolutions taken by the African National Congress, which demanded nothing less in its conferences but a radical economic transformation, ethical and capable governance, and a society healed from its historic wounds. These resolutions continue to find expression in the manifesto we've developed as a social contract with the people, that of focusing on economic transformation, building a capable, ethical, and developmental state, social cohesion, and nation building. A state which is non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous. The Premier tables this budget on this month of April, which is a significant month in our history as a people. Honorable Speaker, it was in this month, on the 6th, in 1979, when Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu, a young lion of our struggle, was executed by the apartheid regime. His last words still ring with haunting clarity. I quote, "My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom." Honorable Speaker, it was in this month of April, on the 10th in 1993, when the General Secretary of the SACP, Comrade Chris Hani, was assassinated at the time when he was calling for peace, when he was beginning to call for peace, taking tune from his organization to abandon the armed struggle. Honorable Speaker, he was a true patriot whose vision for a free, equal, and just South Africa remains an ideal that we must continue to fight for. He was firm on the idea of returning of the land to Blacks, Africans in particular, so that the majority of this country should cease to live like beggars in their own land. Honorable Speaker, it was in this month of April, on the 24th in 1993, just 14 days after the passing of Comrade Chris Hani, when we lost the longest-serving president of the African National Congress, President OR, who held the fort, kept the ANC together, and made sure it doesn't die but continue to pursue the struggle for the liberation of the oppressed people of South Africa back here at home while he was out there in exile. Honorable Speaker, it was in this month of April, on the 27th in 1994, that we got the democratic breakthrough when the people of this country, the majority, finally participated in elections, went out in numbers, joining long queues to elect the government of their choice, so that we can sit here today and participate in government processes like this. But as we do that, we must do it with conviction as we represent those millions who cannot be part of these processes here. Just as she did in her maiden state of the province address, the Premier has once again reaffirmed the province's realignment to the three strategic objectives of the medium-term development plan to drive inclusive growth and job creation, reduce poverty, and tackle high cost of living, building a capable and ethical developmental state. The Office of the Premier, as an apex engine of coordination, is embodied in the vision of building a capable, ethical, and developmental state that we talk about. I'm encouraged by the bold commitment to professionalize the state, including vetting of senior officials. The establishment of the Ethics Management Office is a direct response to building an ethical state by ensuring ethical governance. These injunctions add to the principle of good governance, in particular accountability, transparency, and compliance with the law. Honorable Speaker, the Premier's unwavering commitment in fighting gender-based violence and femicide needs the support of all of us to stand together against this monster which continues to devour women and children in our communities. We need to confront this pandemic as pronounced by State President Ramaphosa. We need to deal with it together as the arms of the state and in all the spheres of government. We commend the strides made to implement the Employment Equity Act, as we note the report that out of 45 permanent positions that were recently filled, 60% of appointees are women. This is not just a coincidence. As a matter of fact, women in this country have always been confronted with triple challenges of race, gender, and inequality. Hence, the Employment Equity Act to mitigate and address these historical issues. The Sanitary Towels Program also aids to give dignity to young women and girls, to tackle the stigma and curb the inequality outcome that may be caused by these girls dropping out of school because of scarcity of just a simple sanitary towel. We cannot allow a cycle of inequality to be perpetuated among women in our society. The Disability Forum will go a long way in recognizing people with disabilities and give them platform to discuss and resolve, teach us how to serve them and how to improve in order to accommodate them and minimize what seems like discrimination against them as rightful citizens of this country. The implementation of the district development model will go a long way in helping municipalities to deliver services to the poor, as would remember that they are at the coalface of service delivery, yet with minimum resources. It is important that the three spheres of government work together to accelerate service delivery, and the model, as mentioned, surely serves that purpose. The framework on DDM will ensure a uniform, coordinated approach to effective implementation of this model. Skills development is the cornerstone of effective and efficient service. We therefore applaud the FSTDI initiative to empower and give skills to the government workforce. Honorable Speaker, the strategic partnerships injunction to focus on youth is highly commendable because, yes, unemployment that we are grappling with affects youth the most. Youth unemployment must be given urgent attention. Yes, government might not be able to employ everyone, but we still hold the responsibility to create a conducive environment and work closely with the private sector and other entities who have the capacity to create jobs. So we applaud the introduction of these strategic partnerships with SETAs. In that regard, the Youth Advisory Council is the step forward, steps towards the right direction, so that we get to know what young people want, how do they want to be developed, and what are the opportunities they identify that could contribute towards giving them a better life. The recognition of military veterans speaks to the fact that we acknowledge where we come from and how did we get here. We cannot forget those who contributed towards the attainment of this freedom that we are enjoying today. The establishment of the Advisory Council is a positive step towards responding to government's priority of economic growth, as we just alluded to the fact that minds must meet to deal with the single agenda of creating jobs and grow economy. These men and women should guide the Premier on what decisions to take, strategies to employ in order to attract investment, actively respond to the state of our economy. Chapter 3 of our Constitution makes provisions for intergovernmental relations, for collaboration and cooperation. It is indeed a progressive step to resuscitate and strengthen Premier's Coordinating Council, where municipalities meet with the Premier and her executive to discuss matters affecting the province and together craft a way forward on how to serve people and tackle the challenges of governance. This is one of the ways in which these spheres can better inform one another, cooperate, collaborate with the single agenda of bringing better services to the people. Honorable Speaker, the monitoring of commitments made to traditional and quiescent leaders is a positive step towards ensuring that the sector we have, these sectors we have in our societies are recognized as enshrined in our Constitution. These are leaders who live among people, see their plight, and people look up to them for their needs to be to be serviced. The traditional and Khoisan leaders have a big role to play in their communities. Working together with government to serve communities can take us far in terms of dealing with the issues that we have as a province. I believe that if they could be properly resourced, they could make indeed a difference. Honorable Speaker, indeed, this budget sets the tone and put infrastructure in place for government to discharge its work of providing services to the people as the different departments implement their different projects and programs through their budget. We have to do it in line with the vision as set out by the Premier. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, we might not be where we want to be, but we are far from where we started, and we acknowledge that we are a long way to where we want to be. Thank you.
Honorable Member Klute.
Thank you, Speaker. You know, while the Premier promises a free state that works for all, I must say, if there's one thing the ANC is good at, is developing these catchphrases that means nothing. But one is tempted to remind this House that the Premier and her husband are, the last time I looked, under investigation by the Hawks for alleged corruption. Or to mention that this department's budget is nearly double that of the Free State Legislature. Or that 108 million rand is being spent on community development workers whose function remains unclear and who, by the previous Director General's own admission, are merely deployments. And yes, even a DDG level employee hasn't shown up for work for 3 years, by the Premier's own admission. But I won't dwell on that today. Let's get real and let me ask a very direct question, Honourable Premier, through you, Speaker. Has the national government or the ANC given up on the Free State? This isn't a rhetorical question. Earlier this week, in response to a question in the National Assembly, the Deputy President listed municipalities considered service delivery hotspots. Not one Free State municipality made that list. Are we to believe that not a single municipality in this province is struggling with service delivery? At least under the previous Deputy President, 2 Free State municipalities were acknowledged. Not that anything really happened. So the Deputy President, is he being lied to, or is he willfully blind? Because, Premier, under your watch, we are seeing human rights violations across the province. Under your watch, the Auditor General says nearly all municipalities are doing harm. Under your watch, patient files are being tampered with in Free State hospitals, possibly to hide systemic failures and to prevent medical legal claims. Your department is supposed to be the nexus around which the intergovernmental coordination should function, but clearly that's also failing. And for 6 years, we've been hearing about the implementation of and intensifying the district development model, which clearly has come to nothing. As first citizen of the province, Premier, you should be out in front, leading and stabilizing service delivery. The Free State doesn't need more political deployments, it needs functioning municipalities. This is a province, Speaker, unfortunately, that does not work for all, but fails overall, Premier. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, Wabela. As honourable member is taking the podium, let me also acknowledge the presence among us of Morena Moholo, Morena Mobedi. Morena. Gwebel. Honourable members, Gwebel. Apologies. For what?
We're greeting the king.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. No, that's great.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me begin with the supreme document of the country. The South African Constitution provides values like integrity, accountability, responsiveness, and openness. Therefore, ethics management helps to ensure that public servants uphold these principles in their daily duties. Although unethical conduct in government deters investment and drains public finances, hence we agree with the Office of the Premier in establishing Ethics Management Office, because by promoting ethical behavior on public servants, the government can create a more stable and investor-friendly environment, which is essential for economic recovery and growth, including building investor confidence. And this is in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of that or that of the country. Furthermore, as the ANC, we welcome and support the lifestyle audit, which will be conducted by the Office of the Premier, and we strongly believe in the institutionalization of these lifestyle audits. They should be mandatory, independent, transparent, and lastly result into consequences for wrongdoings. Honorable Speaker, the ANC views the launch of EXCO Meets the People as a progressive initiative. It is a practical step for the people of the Free State to exercise their rights to participate equally in the province's political life. It is a clear and pragmatic demonstration of the ANC-led government commitment to democratic values, unlike what the previous speaker said, that we don't see people of the Free State or the rights of the people of the Free State have been violated. This is what the initiative that I'm not sure if he was listening on the speech of the Premier. And given the mandate of this department, this budget is aligned and enhances what the ANC envisions as a state that is professional, efficient, ethical, and developmental and responsive. I mean, a state that is capable of delivering quality service to all, a state that is driving economic growth and social transformation, a state that is planning strategically and implementing effectively, a state that is attracting skilled and talented young professionals into public service, as opposed to the view and the narrative that the skilled and talented, they go to the private sector. While pursuing a capable ethical development state, gender equality is a core part of the transformation agenda led by the ANC. Hence, women emancipation and empowerment in government continues to be a major theme in South African politics. This goes to an extent of the constitutional and strong legal foundation that are implemented by government and in a broader society. Honorable members and Honorable Speaker, the ANC-led government in South Africa is recognized as a global leader or a trendsetter in women representation in government. And it's not surprising that Honorable Premier has reported on a budget speech that 60% of 45 permanent positions, I repeat, 60% of 45 permanent positions were recently filled by women. And the youth are not left alone with the persons living with disabilities, as they will be prioritized into the 9 senior management posts that are going to be advertised. Most importantly, skills revolution and capacity building leads to public servants with improved efficiency, transparency, and accessibility to public service. This is what the department is doing by calibrating its workforce through the trained 350 officials. Moreover, the 201 participants that are enrolled across the municipalities through you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Klute, the 201 participants that are enrolled across the municipalities. I'm not sure if you are listening to the speech or not, and including what the Treasury is going to provide as a right, or to just to put a cherry on top, including what the Treasury says that they are going to appoint chartered accountants to enhance the capacity of municipalities in across the Free State. You were in that committee as well when we're dealing with that issue. And Honorable Speaker, as the ANC will further welcome the 1.1 billion that is going to support young people and tackling the issues of skills development, and we commend the Office of the Premier on ensuring that 6,087 unemployed youth have benefited, and they continue to benefit out of this ANC-led government. What are we supporting, Honorable Speaker, when we're saying we're supporting this budget tabled by an Honorable Premier? We're supporting a budget that is rooted on accountability to the people, that has a practical tool to verify the integrity of public service or public officials, that drives women emancipation and empowerment. And lastly, it connects the ideological foundation and the practical reality, such as people shall govern. And the stance of the ANC is enhanced, which is that of building a capable, ethical, and developmental state as a central pillar, as highlighted in the National Development Plan. And I must say that, in conclusion, it is important that we understand the mandate and the prescript of the department and its mandate, given that what is responsible for, it's responsible for coordination and overall of all the departments, and it is important what is allocated for it, it must use it so. Thank you.
Honourable Member Msimanga. Mona Msimanga, how Msimanga?
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, caucus of the Economic Freedom Fighters led by Honorable Dipoko, members of the Free State Legislature, distinguished guests, I greet you all. Speaker, I rise today on behalf of a party firmly rooted in the struggles of the working class, the poor, and the marginalized of our province. It is my duty and indeed our collective responsibility to approach this vote budget not as a numbers exercise, but a political instrument that must speak directly to the real conditions of our people. Honorable Speaker, I cannot ignore the troubling record of this administration under the Premier's term. It has been characterized by instability within the very office that is supposed to lead decisively and in the interest of the masses. We have witnessed the alarming pattern of the staff pages, explain dismissal, and hollowing out of institutional memory, all of which we have left the Premier's office incapable of executing its core mandate effectively. Honorable Speaker, this chaos at the center of the government is not a victimless crisis. It has a direct impact on service delivery, on development planning, and on the ability of the state to intervene decisively in the economy to uplift our people from poverty and underdevelopment. Yet, when we turn this budget before us today, we see no radical departure from the old ways, no bold program to rebuild capacity, no decisive plan to create jobs for the unemployed youth of the province, no meaningful commitment to drive public-led industrialization or the expansion of social infrastructure in our neglected rural area and township. Speaker, as the EFF, we reject a budget that maintains a status quo while our people remains in shacks, our clinics are without medicine, and our streets are overrun with joblessness and despair. What we need is a budget of developmental transformation, A people's budget that places the need of the working class and the poor at the center of government. Speaker, we therefore call for 1, a clear program of rebuild capacity within the Premier's office, ending the culture of political purges and patronage. 2, directing more resources towards infrastructure development, road, water, sanitation, and housing. Prioritizing the need of our rural and township communities. 3, expanding youth employment program underpinned by decent work, not short-term contract. Honorable Speaker, our province cannot afford another year of weak leadership, administrative chaos, and anti-work policies. We need a budget and a government that is unapologetically developmental, socialist in orientation, and family aligned with the interest of the working class majority. On those grounds, Speaker, we cannot, in good conscience, support this budget vote in its current form. We demand that it be returned and reworked to reflect the true developmental priorities of our province. Thank you.
Thank you. The person speaking here was Honorable Nanyani, not Msimange. Can I ask this should not be repeated? The list that is given here should be finalized before it is brought to my attention. May I ask that the parties, the whips should help us in doing this and not cause this. Okay. Honorable Member Dr. Jangose.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. April is indeed a significant month. What a great surprise to wake up on Sunday morning on 13 April 2025, open the online newspapers and read that a poll conducted by the prestigious Institute of Race Relations indicated that if we have an election this week, the ANC would lose its majority and the DA would be the largest party in South Africa. Good news. The poll indicates that recently the DA has gained 8.5% to reach 30.3%, and the ANC has dropped by 10.5% to 29.7%. We hope that this trend will continue towards the next elections. Speaker, during the SOPA debate, I explained why the ANC has lost support and stubbornly refuses to take simple policy measures to self-correct. Arrogance, self-indulgence, and an obsession with the 20th century National Democratic Revolution ideology are some of the reasons for our poor services, straggling economy, and growing unemployment and poverty in the Free State and the country. The ANC seem to think that the 1.1 million people out of 2.9 million people population in the Free State, 60% of whom are living in poverty, would prefer to be on social grants and rely on poor state health care instead of real jobs with pension funds and medical aid schemes. The ANC are learning the hard way as they lose their majority and hopefully the power to further destroy the lives and livelihoods of our people, that our people in the Free State have dreams and aspirations. but our people have limits to their patience. I have conducted research on the budget of the Office of the Premier since 2007-8, and I would like to refer this House to some of the comparisons. In 2007-8, the budget of the Free State Legislature was 82 million rand, and the Department of the Premier was 103 million rand. In 2016-17, the legislature received 191 million rand, and the Office of the Premier received 294 million rand. In that year, we could already notice the budgetary disparities and creep. But in 2017-18, we see a huge leap by the Office of the Premier to 565 million rand, while the legislature received only 234 million rand. Speaker, we know where the money must and should go, but we always wonder where it went. Those were the years that Mr. 10% Ace Magashule was Premier, and the Free State was rejoicing that the Vestas contract criminal case that implicates Magashule is back in the courts today. April is a good month. We hope that the outcomes will display some justice for the victims of the corruption in the Free State. While ACT is missing in this legislature, ACT is in the High Court in Bloemfontein today. April is a good month, through you, Speaker, Honorable Sefube. In this financial year, the legislature receives a mere 317 million rand, while the Office of the Premier receives 634 million rand.
Remember, can you take a seat?
Of course, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, the Dr. Junkelson is out of order. Out of order because the legislature has a leave of absence, a sick leave of absence of Honorable Member of ACT. Now, if he ridicules his absence in the sitting as if he's in court, it's to undermine the state that he's in. And we really have to take this matter seriously because it looks like the DA is ridiculing the illness of the Honorable Member of ACT. Thank you, Speaker.
This is a very interesting statement. I would make a ruling later. You may continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is costing this legislature a huge amount of money. And we are not insensitive to illness, but we are sensitive to the fact that the people of this province are paying this political party funds for someone who should be here, who's never attended since the election, and also paying for their office and staff in the legislature for who knows what they are doing. Speaker, the compensation of employees of the Premier is 402 million rand a year, more than the entire budget of the legislature. The victims of the budgetary leap by the Office of the Premier is the legislature, but the main victims are the people of this province whose seat of democracy is unable to carry out its constitutional mandate regarding oversight over the executive and holding that branch of government accountable. Just compare the number of oversight field visit reports from previous terms to today. We can only conclude that the executive are deliberately undermining the ability of the legislature, the seat of our democracy in the Free State, to carry out its constitutional mandate to hold them accountable and do oversight over them. This was also confirmed by the Zondo Commission of Inquiry into State Capture that concluded that legislatures and parliament failed the people of this country by the lack of oversight and not holding the executive to account. Undermining the legislature empowers criminal networks in government and allows them to plunder, extort, and intimidate with impunity. We must demand value for money for the inflated budget of the Office of the Premier. The Auditor General was scathing in the report for this department. One of the tasks that the Premier's office has allocated to themselves is monitoring and evaluation, a task that should instead be carried out by the legislature, which has the constitutional mandate to do this. Our experience of this unit is that our post box between various departments and whoever they have to report to, in our case, the portfolio committees in the legislature. When asked about details of delivery projects, they are unable to supply any, citing the lack of capacity. All we get is statistics against performance targets, which the departments give us anyway. Speaker, we are debating the Premier's budget, not the Premier specifically, and I want to refer to previous Auditor General's report, the latest one in the annual report of the Office of the Premier. The AG indicated in their report within the 2023-2024 annual report of the Office of the Premier that monitoring and evaluation is a source of material misstatements that management did not correct. 172.6 million rand will be spent on this program again this year. The Premier's department and office are meant to be an example for the rest of the province, yet they continue to struggle with basic financial management. Some prominent issues identified by the Auditor General include the following. Effective steps were not taken to prevent fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Effective and appropriate steps were not taken to prevent irregular expenditure. Effective internal controls are not in place for approval and processing payments as required by Treasury. Specific information systems were not implemented to enable the monitoring of progress made towards achieving targets, core objectives, and service delivery. We hope that the Premier will correct these things. One of the main problem areas is the procurement section, which was also raised by the Public Protector in their report on the procurement irregularities by the Office of the Premier with the funeral of the late MEC Tate Magwe. A serious concern is the lack of consequence management and disciplinary measures against individuals involved in irregular, unauthorized, and fruitless and wasteful expenditure. The Premier has ignored their own audit action plan by failing to enforce corrective measures and inadequate internal control measures that exist. This is definitely not an office or department that justifies a budget of 634 million rand while not delivering services and displays an inability to set an example by maintaining compliance with relevant legislation, much less ensure that other provincial government departments deliver on their mandates. While our people in the province are dying on our roads and in pain due to delays in surgeries at our provincial hospital, this Premier was quite happy to arrogantly watch 4.5 million rand spent on her SOPA. Her ego is obviously more important than the residents of the Free State. The Premier says that risk and ethics management remains at the heart of their work, but you need to have a heart to actually do this work. I also want to use this opportunity in this budget debate on the Office of the Premier to highlight how Mangaung municipality through Sentlek have left many residents literally in the dark without electricity because the new metering system appears not to be compatible with the old electricity meters. Sentlek employees now have to physically visit every residence who are experiencing such problems. There are no time frames for completion, and residents, many of whom are senior citizens, are experiencing the inconvenience of no electricity caused by the incompetence and lack of foresight through risk assessment by this incompetent ANC cadre-run entity and Metro. This needs to be addressed urgently in Mangaung. Someone obviously made money out of the scheme to transform the electricity metering system, and now residents are paying the price for the crash of this system. I once again challenge the ANC to show me one thing that they've attempted that actually works, or that they inherited that they've not destroyed. The DA's alternatives to transform the Free State provincial government include some of the following: carrying out a comprehensive evaluation of all departments focusing on their core business, doing a skills audit within all departments and government entities, implement the Free State First approach to all government contracts and suppliers. The Department of Education employed contractors for school furniture from Northwest Province, while there are such contractors in the Free State who can do this work. Ensure value for money and sound monitoring of all infrastructure projects. We must invest in technology to streamline and ease delivery of many services instead of costly and ineffective bureaucratic red tape. There must be serious consequence management and action against corrupt officials and politicians in the provincial government and municipalities. Government must ensure professional services by civil servants who are dedicated to clients. Our people of the Free State are clients, not beneficiaries of government services. And we must do significant oversight and hold this provincial government accountable, which is the job of a legislature which should be empowered to do so. We support the three priorities of driving inclusive growth and job creation, reducing poverty and tackle the high cost of living, building a capable, ethical and development state. For the ANC, however, this is rhetoric for the next election. For the DA, it is our legacy for the next generation. Thank you, Honourable Premier.
Honourable Member Mokoena.
Honorable Speaker, members of the legislature, Moranemolo Mopedi, Marana Rona, Kilhompile, Kirhomute, Ulemanamana Zone. Speaker, when the Premier was inaugurated, she took a government and democracy that was under siege by opponents of change. It was a situation where weaknesses, shortcomings, mistakes were projected as nothing but a transformation failure of gigantic proportions. The drive was to hammer into the minds of our people of Free State that we have a failed state that is simply incapable of taking us into the future. When you listen to the stories and happen to be outside the country, you could easily conclude that indeed we are a failed state. But for those of us who live and still lives here at home, we're perplexed as to what are they speaking about, these people. We know, and yes, we have challenges, and we've just emerged from the state capture era. But at the same time, we also live a reality of a continuous change aimed at improving the lives of our people. In response to the above-mentioned attacks on transformation and change, the Premier committed to use the office to bring about changes in all problems identified. In simpler terms, this meant to improve what is good and ditch what is bad. She promised that the status quo as prevailed must be tempered with, and change for the best and in the interest of the people of Free State must take place. As I rise to support the Premier's office budget vote, which is anchored around the 4 program areas, I hereby wish to focus on what has unfolded under the stewardship of Premier Matai. Speaker, I'm more interested in what both the media and Mahana Puso seated in the opposition benches do not want us to hear. Having been told of corruption, incompetency, and general failures, the Premier, as per her promise, she had restructured the administration with HODs redeployed to new roles in other departments and finally advertised those of vacancies that exist at this level. As part of the drive to renew the administration with a new blood that has not been part of the capture era, we can confirm that the Free State government has advertised the DG post and 4 HOD posts in the province. The above is part of the efforts to build capacity of the state, and this has included vetting of all HODs in terms of security clearances. The media and opposition will never tell you this. Premier in her SOPA address, promised to pay special attention to municipalities with intention to improve their audit outcomes. Speaker, I can today confirm that the Premier's office is leading a team of COCTA, Treasury, and AGSA targeting municipalities whose audit outcomes still remain a challenge. Mangawi Metro has already been met as part of this drive, and Machabeng is next. On the left-hand side, they'll never say this. The Premier, and through her office, has committed to reskill our officials and young people in general, aimed at improving the capacity and functionality of the state. I will not repeat, Chair, the number of 6,087 young people that have been capacitated, which is a very difficult number to come out of the opposition mouth, including the 1.1 billion that is being invested to further skill others. In response, Speaker, to the efforts to bring about an economic improvement in the Free State, it is very difficult for the opposition to acknowledge that we are entering a period of relative stability economically, with a projection of 0.8% in 2025, 2.1% in 26, finally settling at 2% in 2027. In further consolidating the growth, economic growth, the government is strengthening the Free State-India business dialogue meant to encourage investment. The issue of the Val River City region is being consolidated. The appointment of the FDC board, including the Premier's Economic Advisory Council. Speaker, there used to be a song by opposition parties, and they were very good at dancing for it, that our roads are bad. Now that the roads are being repaired, we don't hear the remix that says the roads are getting better. It's very difficult. This includes the Kronstadt Road, that a member of the opposition came here to sing a song, that Premier, go and drive there with your car. Today they are unable to bring about a remix. That road is being repaired. It is difficult. Is it that difficult or that painful for the DA, the opposition, to stand up and say, Premier, thanks that your government has intervened and the roads are being repaired? Otatakai to say we complained about the Fixback Road, and thanks to the ANC Premier of the Free State that the road is now being repaired under your leadership. Is it so hard to say, as the opposition, we hate you ANC government, but we can at least be honest and acknowledge that in education, you are still the best in the country. Health has challenges, but access is not an issue for our people. We had one organization here, Premier. They also came with a song, and I'm still waiting for the remix. They said MUCCP is not operating for 24 hours. Is it difficult for them to concede that it now operates for 24 hours and the ANC government has delivered that? Bring up the remix, gentlemen, because the developments on the ground requires you to sing the remix and tell the truth to our people. Is it painful for the opposition to say, Premier, we marched around the Free State looking for government mistakes and failures, but we stumbled upon a newly built ECD center, Dr. Cellular School in Viljoenskroon, and a soon-to-be renamed new school, Tate Mahwe. Is it painful for them to say so? Or don't they see, like in April, their eyes have chosen to be fool's eyes? We know it's painful, but it should not be impossible to say, yes, we as the opposition, we do acknowledge that this government, this state-of-the-art schools are built by the ANC government. Speaker, will there ever be a day where they say, we know we are opposition? Most of us here probably hate this government, but because we are true patriots, we'll criticize but be honest enough where good is being done. What type of opposition behave like enemies of progress and development? Like the reality of many societies, we do have our challenges and good stories to tell as well. They must be told even by our opponents. The work of opposition is to criticize and offer alternatives, and should never be dishonest about the strides government is making. When will we ever see a day when opposition parades like Casey and George on stage and at least tell the people of the Free State that all major roads are undergoing repairs, whether it is N1, N5, N6, R26, R27, R57? Is it that painful to say so? Even when you know that as you drive to the Eastern Free State or to the Northern Free State, you do encounter what is called stop and go. Perhaps your eyes do not see. Whilst the opposition saw with their naked eye, and they are terrified to admit that this government has intensified the delivery of houses, but they will never tell. Instead, we saw a few wearing red overalls complaining about the size of the houses delivered. They are unable to acknowledge that, yes, indeed, we are delivering houses. We have many challenges, but under leadership of this Premier, hope is restored through tangible delivery that is taking shape in less than a year in government. Her approach and leadership style as a people's government is that one of a people's government that identifies with the weak and the most needy. It moves with the workers to create better conditions and resonates with the private sector to grow the economy and deliver a better life for all. To a homeless granny in Kwakwa, in Tabanchu, a NSFAS recipient at the college, a GBV victim in Botshabelo, and a contract worker in the health department, this government is for you and it will never desert you. Work with us to build a better tomorrow. Leave people who are hopeless and negative about everything, including themselves. Ignore their politics and join the government as led by the Premier to build a better Free State. They come here refusing to release the remix in their pockets. They talk about Human Rights Commission. The truth they never tell is that this Human Rights Commission is a compilation of the conditions that were also inherited since apartheid in this country. They talk about functioning municipalities. They are not able to tell the truth that we are intervening in those municipalities, whether it is Machabeng, it is Mohokare, or Nala, or Malutia Pofu. They will never tell you that in Makwane today there's water that is running there. They will pretend not to know because to them, lies is being an opposition, objectivity is something that they do not know. I'm still shocked by the racist arrogance of DA. It is really outstanding. You lied before the elections.
Order.
You said to the people of the Free State, you are going to win the Free State government and run it.
Order.
Lie number one, you are exposed by the numbers. You come here with your manufactured research to tell us that will be a government today. Indeed, it's a fool's month. And you know April can also be a fool's month where racists can dream that our people will vote for them. This is the most dishonest party that still stands here today and refuse to tell even their own people that their brother-in-arms Trump continues to lie about this country. They will never say so about Bas Trump because he's their man. They come and speak here about a budget, confusing oversight with monitoring and evaluation. The legislature does oversight. Monitoring and evaluation is a function of the executive. That's why we've got the National Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. The lie you want the people of the Free State to believe. You want them to believe that we must give you money so that you can go around parading and telling lies as opposed to allowing this government to deliver. Allow the Free State government to deliver. That money has gone to where it belongs to. It shall never again that the party of 20% continue to confuse our people. If for people who are also academics, they can run the country with 20%, we have got to go and look at their papers. It is very difficult for them to tell the truth. We have got to tell the people of the Free State, nothing in the eyes of the DA, if it is not led by a white DA leader, is good. Everything that is led by a black government, a black person, it is bad. That is why when you walk in the suburbs at night, there's a black person today alone. The madam calls the police because they think you are a criminal. With the same mentality, they stand here that everything we touch is corruption. They will never tell about the corruption in the Western Cape where people are arrested. They will never speak about the Western Cape that has lost 200 million in housing in this country. They will never say so. So DA, your racist arrogance has got to be exposed. In terms of what we came to tell about the premier here, you came to confuse, the budget of the premier with the report of the AG. You've got portfolio committees to go and do that. Here, we're strengthening this office to make sure that it is able to execute the leadership role of government. It is painful to acknowledge, like I said, that under the apartheid, there was no waterfall mall. It is painful to explain. There was no mimosa mall. That yours that you see today, it was not like this under the apartheid. They've all been rebuilt by the African National Congress. It is painful for you to say the N1 we're driving on, we have built it as a democratic state. It is painful to say that we even fought for your own liberation to stand in the house and criticize government. Under the government of de Klerk and Malan, they would have arrested you. Thank you very much.
Premier, you may now respond.
Thank you, Speaker. Ke ise hlompho morena a moholo re boka dikgomo morena. Ke lebohe Ms. Fuba ka phehiso ya hao. We imbogot, we phethe ma. And that is Gwebel. We ngoletse speech, ba re na o se ngoletse ke mang. Le wena ntate Mokoena o nkile dikarabo tsa ka kaofela. Empa re pele ke qala ka hore most of the issues that were raised in Ntate Klute, abaka ya back to Hansard and go through the speech ya me Dibulelo Manje. She answered all of what you've been raising today. So I keep with the minutes that I'm giving here just to respond to what you're saying. And indeed, that is like the issue of human rights violation. Its origin. So I'm not gonna unpack that. But I'm interested. Ho araban tate no abusang ali nosi. Tate Jackal Senikama. Ha bona khono lo sherela bana ba bang. O dula ile ena fela a debate tate Mokoena le ntate kana ke ntate o le bon tate Mokoena ba babedi. Ke sa le ba feletsa o tla mona legislature. Ha ba sa le hlepholela le anyane fela hore ke setjhaba sena se ba votetse ba ke ba lutlwe hobane lona e sa le ba kena ka hore fela ba reke di votes ba reke batho ba ba ke ya ba le a kena fela mzabala zongona ha ba le shegele letho kore le batho ba le votetse ba ipotsa na le kae. So don't complain about motho a act because ntse re na le lona ka mona le bo act ba promotseng fela ba sa etseng letho ka mo. So ha re tlo itshwenya bana lona le sentse ka di vote tsa batho ba rona le re latetse batho bana ba votele DA le re le tlo remela e sa le fitla mona ha le bue lutho o di be itale mo mehleng. One man, oh no, Speaker, ntatare ki bua rubbish ne ke kopa utlwa rena ebe o kae araba jwa. Kapa o tla ipheta ka ntle ntate. Are you going to be able to repeat what you are saying outside? No, are you going to be able to repeat it outside? Say yes or no. Re tla kopana ka ntle he mshana. Let me first educate him, Honorable Speaker, through you, Ntate Jackilson. Ntate Jackilson, you see, sometimes you are being lobbied, and when you are being lobbied, you don't apply your mind correctly. Monitoring and evaluations about accountability, learning, and performance improvement. Yes, Ntate Mokoena is right. It's an executive role. Go and read the roles. You are doing what you call oversight, not monitoring and evaluation. Please don't confuse people, because you are already confused yourself. It is an executive function. And ANC has a person that this role is even in the presidency. It has a minister, it has a deputy minister to show how important MNE is. So your problem is that indeed Ntate Mokoena is correct that you want money to go and do oversight individually, not even respecting the legislature, because yourselves, the committee, here, there's what you call portfolio committee. So most of the time, you just want to run around here, order information, and come back and claim to be a committee. Committee has its rules, and the committee has its chair, and the committee function as a committee. When you do your constituency work, don't confuse it with a committee role. Please don't ever do that. And you'll never get that money, unfortunately. I'm assuring you. Your problem as well is that you only
Premier,
speak up.
can you have a seat, please? Can I request the Premier, in responding, address the House through the Speaker? Addressing them directly, you're inviting honorable members to respond to you. Please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, they're not only concerned about monitoring evaluation, they were even concerned about the funds that are to GBV. Because to you, opposition through you, Speaker, GBV, it doesn't matter. That's why, Speaker, you'll never even see them in any of the campaigns that have been run by this government addressing issues of GBV. None of them. Especially when at DA and E and FF, you've never attended a single event to show your interest. No, please, can I not be harassed in that? Speaker, even when I speak through you, but I've been harassed by Ntate Musa Esi.
Honour member, please.
Thank you, Honour Speaker. Honour Speaker, let me go to this point. There are people who have been paged. Paged by who? When you sign a contract, it has a beginning and the end. That's what we call a contract. So, but when you sign as an individual, Speaker, and you enter into a contract. That contract, it binds wena the employer how. So, how it got to an end? EFF, how it got to an end? That contract, is it paging? It's not. It's not. No, you raise the issue here of paging of employees when the contract has come to an end. And the other issue, the training and capacitating the employees is there in the budget speech. What more do you want us to do? You raise even the issue, CFO in my office. That CFO is no more in that office. He's no longer in that office. Because you raised it as members here to say the CFO in the office of the Premier, Hana capacity, he's not even qualified. So he was moved. We're not going to be run by your feelings here. And EFF, Honourable Speaker, you can't come here and debate the budget of the Premier. Ntate Saki wa adreke na motho house o tlo di beitang when Ntate Saki a tlo present. How about nkaisa matlo nna when this office is a coordinating department? No, he'll come and answer that during his budget. He'll come and answer that.
Honour members, Honour members, shouting does not make you clever. Shouting does not make you heard. You are not helping us as this institution. When you want to raise a point, please raise your hand and I'll notice you. Shouting like this is not helping us at all. It is not making... Are you now shouting at me? No, I'm asking, are you shouting at me now? Thank you. Listen to me, listen to what I'm saying, honourable members. Please, just listen. And if you do not agree with this, you will have the opportunity to raise whatever you have. Listening does not make you less important. Please. Honour member, you may continue.
Speaker, Speaker,
Kamananyana batho ya kantle. E ka re o kgasetsa o ya kantle jwale. E ka re wena o potlaketse o ya kantle. Premier, continue.
Speaker, on the issue of DDG, and that that case is concluded, the DDG has been dismissed. So that how to mono mislead people out there. The DDG case has been concluded and the DDG has been dismissed, Honorable Klute. Not for you. And on the issue, Ntate Jacobson, once more, Honorable Speaker. Ntate Jacobson, whatever you have listed here, just a wish list. The problem is that you want to behave like you're a committee. When you tell us that you are going to do skills audit, in your dreams, getting into the department, doing skills audit, SDA. Honorable Speaker, no, they're not going to do that. Where are you going to get that mandate from and the powers to do that when you are a member of the legislature? Honorable Speaker, you are not going to do it, not now and never. So wait for that time when your dreams, I'll be not my dreams come true. When you sing that song, Honorable Speaker, that's when all these things can happen, because most of the people, most of the issues that you raise here is because you want to operate outside the portfolio committees of this legislature. The issues that were raised by Ntate Klute, health and so on, you want to go into these institutions and pretend to be committee members. When you are alone, don't claim committees. Go there and say, I'm honorable so and so. And you don't have even the right to convene the officials in that particular institution as a party and address them, or let doctors leave whatever they are doing because honorable so and so it's not going to happen, Honorable Speaker. And that issue, it's can discuss chair of chairs and chief whip. Already members and they understand the role we have now. When you are here, but separate the constituency work from portfolio committee work, including Lebontate Kouchukaman, Babatan Skolo CMC, Hobani and now Fiti. So you must be able to outline their roles. Role we are how it's an oversight. How MEC Iles Colonseo is executive. So Kikupa, Honorable Speaker, with due respect, Kiboni and most of your members here, Banida workshop, workshop, how look at the roles. That's why they cannot even define the role of executive from that one of the legislature. So, the budget that we can allow you to intact. That's all what you need. Thank you very much.
The reply by Honorable Premier concludes the debate on Vote 1, Office of the Premier. The Secretary shall read motion 2.
That the second reading debate on the Appropriation Bill B3 of 2025 be continued. Vote for Free State Provincial Treasury.
The vote before the House is vote for Free State Provincial Treasury. The Honorable MEC Ndatema Kume may now address the House.
Honorable Speaker, Ndate Dugwana, Honorable Premier, Deputy Speaker, members of the Executive Council, Chair of Chairs, traditional leaders, Marena, Morene Moholo, members of the Free State Legislature, executive mayors, mayors and councillors, acting Director General of the province, heads of the department, CEOs and provincial public entities, chairperson of the respective provincial boards, distinguished guests, people of the Free State Province, esteemed ladies and gentlemen, Dumelang, Molweni, Goeiemorgen, good morning. Honorable Speaker, as we commemorate the 31st years of freedom, we are reminded that democracy is not an event, but a journey, a continuous process that must be nurtured, deepened, and translated into real and lasting change in the lives of our people. We are equally reminded of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which acknowledges the injustice of the past. Through our freely elected representatives, we have adopted the Constitution as the supreme law of the country, with the express and intentional purpose to, number one, heal the divisions of the past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Two, lay the foundations for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people or citizens and free, and every citizen is equally protected by law. Number three, improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person. And lastly, to build a united democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. This month, we pause to reflect on the progress we have made. As a province and a country, we also take the opportunity to re-examine the work that lies ahead as we strive to build a more just, equitable, and prosperous society. Honorable Speaker, economic freedom is a fundamental to human dignity. For millions of our people, the true measures of freedom lies in access to economic opportunities, quality services, and an enabling environment in which they can thrive. This is why the work of the provincial treasury is about far more than managing public finances. It is about fostering economic transformation, enabling inclusive development, and sustaining the very foundations of our democracy. Freedom Month compels us to ask ourselves, have we done enough to change the lives of our poor people, the unemployed, and the marginalized? The answers to these questions are not found in speeches or slogans, but in the manner in which we plan, allocate, spend, and monitor public resources. Our performance as stewards of the public purse must reflect a commitment to improving the lived realities of our people. As custodians of the provincial fiscus, our sacred duty is to ensure that freedom is not undermined by wasteful expenditure, corruption, or inefficiency. Every mismanagement rant is a missed opportunity, an opportunity to uplift a household, to build a school, maintain critical infrastructure, or provide clean to a rural village. Honorable members, as we reflect during this Freedom Month, let us renew our commitment to the principles of good governance, transparency, and fiscal discipline. Let us continue to build a public finance system that supports service delivery, economic growth, and the employment of all citizens, particularly the most vulnerable. In doing so, we give practical meaning to the freedom we celebrate, and we honor the legacy of those who paved the way for our democracy. Let us continue to make freedom real, measurable, meaningful in the lives of our people. May our actions and stewardship reflect the hopes of our nation and the values of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the global economy is faced with new challenges of protectionism, persistent inflationary pressures, geopolitical instability, and structural shifts. The proposed US tariffs present significant challenges and disruptions to international trade. Already, global stock markets have tumbled because of these proposed tariffs. The rand also took a knock, trading at its all-time low on Wednesday, 9 April 2025, exacerbated by uncertainty over the country's government of national unity. These developments do not augur well with our provincial economy, which is already under strain. The Free State economy contracted by 0.1% in 2024 and is projected to grow by 1.5% in 2025, driven by, among others, agriculture, trade, construction, finance, and transportation. However, sustainable economic growth will require decisive reforms in energy, logistics, and investment facilitation, alongside strengthened public-private partnerships and targeted SME support, attracting foreign and domestic investment, while aligning skills development and industry needs will be fundamental to achieving long-term economic resilience. The focus should also be on job creation, inclusive and sustainable growth. Honorable Speaker, allow us to provide details of the vote allocation per program. The provincial treasurer is allocated a total amount of 384 million for the 2025-2026 financial year. This amount is disaggregated across the various programs as follows. Program 1, which deals with administration, we have set aside 133 million. Program 2, which deals with sustainable resource management, we have set aside 65.8 million. Program 3, which deals with assets and liabilities management, we have set aside 72.5 million. Program 4, which deals with financial governance, we have set aside 34.1 million. And Program 5, which is the municipal finance management responsibility, we have set aside 78.4 million. Now I will start with Program 1. The role of this program is to provide leadership and strategic management in accordance with legislation, regulations, and policies, as well as to ensure that there are appropriate support services to all our programs. Honorable Speaker, as we reflect on the allocations within this year's budget, it is important to acknowledge not only the visible output of our programs, but also the crucial machinery that enables them to function. Allow me to share a simple analogy. Imagine provincial treasury as a symphony orchestra performing a complex and beautiful piece of music. The line functionaries and departmental leaders are like the musicians and the conductor. They are the ones in the spotlight, delivering the performance that the public sees and hears. But behind that performance is a dedicated and often unseen group, the stage crew. These are the people who prepare the stage, tune the instruments, manage the sheet music, adjust the lighting, and ensure that each performer is ready to shine. In much the same way, our administrative support services form the backbone of our department's operation. They may not be the ones playing the music, but without them, the show simply cannot go on. They manage staffing, budgets, logistics, and operational planning, just as the backstage crew ensures everything flows seamlessly behind the scenes. The cybersecurity. Honorable members, the cybersecurity has become an essential pillar in the safeguarding sensitive government information and upholding public confidence, particularly as cyber threats continue to evolve in sophistication and scale. In recognition of this growing risk, the Provincial Treasury, in collaboration with the Office of the Premier, will be strengthening the cybersecurity measures across all provincial administration. This investment marks the beginning of a broader effort to institutionalize the cybersecurity as a core component of the ICT governance and service delivery in the province. Currently, departments are operating in largely decentralized manner when it comes to cybersecurity and ICT risk management. This fragmented approach leaves gaps in oversight, coherency, and resources optimization. As such, there is a clear need to rationalize efforts and begin conceptualizing a centrally managed Provincial Cyber Security Operations Center, the PCOC. This envisioned center will consolidate monitoring, threat intelligence, and response capabilities under a unified architecture. It will also require significant ICT infrastructure, planning, and shared governance models. The strategic areas of collaboration will include the following: strengthening ICT governance, securing financial systems, capacity building, and strategic alignment. The integrated approach will ensure that the Free State government is well positioned to mitigate cyber risk, protect public sector assets, and foster trust in digital government services. Honorable Speaker, we wish to reiterate the importance of the skills audit as a strategic and empowering intervention, not a punitive measure. This process is not intended to attack or marginalize employees with limited qualifications or experiences. Rather, it is a developmental initiative designed to identify skills gaps and provide the necessary support to close them. The Provincial Treasury, in partnership with the Office of the Premier, will lead the critical initiative. Our ultimate goal is to build a capable and skilled public services, one that is equipped to deliver quality services and respond effectively to the needs of our communities. The role of this program, the Sustainable Resource Management Program 2, is to provide professional advice and support on provincial economic analysis, fiscal policy and management of annual budget processes, and the implementation of provincial budgets, review of the baseline allocations. Honorable Speaker, as the custodian of the provincial budget, the Free State Provincial Treasury will be leading the efforts to strengthen fiscal discipline and drive efficiencies and ensure that our limited resources are optimally allocated and effectively utilized. The strengthening of the provincial budget begins with rigorous review of the existing budget baselines. We can no longer afford to allocate resources based purely on historical patterns without questioning effectiveness, efficiency, and relevance of such. The review of the baseline allocations will be undertaken with two primary objectives. That is, to identify and address inefficiencies with a view to improve the effectiveness of our spending, and lastly, to unlock funding for critical provincial priorities and budget pressures. This exercise is not a paper process. It involves close cooperation with departments to ensure that each line item is interrogated, every program is evaluated, and every rent is accounted for. I want to repeat this one. This exercise is not just a paper process. It involves close collaboration with departments to ensure that each line is interrogated, every program is evaluated, and every rent is accounted for. Honorable Speaker, in addition to the budget baseline reviews, the Free State Province will be participating in the spending reviews in partnership with the National Treasury and other key stakeholders. These reviews are aimed at assessing value derived from major spending areas, assessing the efficiency and impact of government programs, and identifying opportunities for cost saving without compromising service delivery. Basically, these spending reviews represent a shift from compliance-based budgeting to performance-informed budgeting, a key pillar of sustainable fiscal reform. Honorable members, as we alluded during the tabling of the provincial budget, the Free State Provincial Treasury will continue to monitor strict adherence by departments and entities to provincial cost containment measures, which are aimed at reducing spending on non-core items and directing savings towards critical service delivery areas. Speaker, we must emphasize that cost containment is not just a financial strategy. It is a moral imperative. We owe it to our citizens to ensure that every rand is spent with care, purpose, and measurable impact. We must continually pursue more efficient ways to maximize value for money in government programs until fiscal situation improves. Honorable members, strengthening oversight mechanism is central to our mission, especially on catalytic programs such as infrastructure investment. This role is underscored by Section 18 of the Public Finance Management Act, which mandates the Provincial Treasury to exercise oversight role over the financial management of all provincial departments and public entities. Allow me to remind this august House that among the key powers and functions entrusted to us as Treasury are the following: exercise control over the implementation of the provincial budget, must issue provincial treasury instructions not inconsistent with PFMA, must intervene by taking appropriate steps, which may include withholding of funds to address a serious or persistent material breach of PFMA by a provincial department or a provincial entity and may do anything further that is necessary to fulfill its responsibilities effectively. To this end, in this financial year and going forward, we will intensify our oversight role on expenditure control, infrastructure delivery management. We must cap delays, budget overruns, and non-compliance infrastructure delivery, which tend to weaken development outcomes and erode public trust in government. Honorable Speaker, to address the provincial treasury, will implement stricter monitoring framework for infrastructure projects, improve planning and costing accuracy throughout the technical support, technical support and the training, ensure alignment between infrastructure spending and long-term provincial development goals, strengthen our monitoring structures by ensuring that the MEC for Finance and the head of Department for Provincial Treasury preside over quarterly infrastructure and expenditure review meetings. These sessions will serve as platforms where departments are held accountable for their respective infrastructure projects and expenditure trends. We will further reinforce the infrastructure delivery mandate system, the DMS, the IDMS, to improve the life skill management of infrastructure projects from conception to completion. Speaker, the support provided to municipalities in relation to infrastructure delivery will continue in 2025-2026. We are equally delighted that approval for the implementation of PINK 2 has been granted by the National Treasury. This program seeks to enhance the efficiency of municipal infrastructure plans and implementation. The Provincial Treasury will drive the implementation of the PINK 2 phase and will continue building municipal capabilities in infrastructure procurement, knowledge management, and improve governance and sustainable infrastructure service delivery. Honorable Speaker, compensation of employees continues to consume a significant portion of our provincial budget. While we value a skilled and motivated public service, the current wage bill is unsustainable. We welcome the early retirement initiative introduced by the National Treasury, which we believe will be positively received by the colleagues aged 55 and above. We further believe the Office of the Premier will lead provincial departments in considering staff rationalization, guided by the skills audits. These measures, among others, are necessary steps towards ensuring that the wage bill is sustainable and that the department are structured for maximum effectiveness. In the last year's vote speech, we emphasized the urgent need for the province to enhance own revenue mobilization capabilities. Honorable members, today we are proud to report that these efforts have yielded encouraging results. We have registered significant improvements in revenue collection. The revenue collected as at the end of February 2024 exceeded our average target of the 2025 financial year. This is not just a counting milestone. It is a sign of improved compliance, enhanced governance, and an emerging culture of accountability across our revenue-generating institutions. However, we must be realistic. Transfers from national fiscus are no longer sufficient to fund all our provincial priorities. While we are grateful for these allocations, they are increasingly constrained by national economic pressures and cannot alone drive the transformation we envision for the Free State. We must accelerate our efforts and expand and strengthen our own revenue base, not as an optional reform, but as a strategic imperative. Honorable Premier, we are not only safeguarding our fiscal integrity, we are laying a foundation for a more self-reliant and self-resilient province. Every rand collected is a step towards a better road, better hospital, safer community, and growing economy that benefits all. The decision-making is informed by research, is essential for effective governance, sound policy development, strategic planning, and efficient budgeting. We are pleased to report that in 2024, we hosted a highly successful research colloquium featuring exciting and insightful presentations from young and old academics at the Central University of Technology and the University of the Free State, as well as other established researchers. In the current financial year, we are proud to continue this important initiative and will once again host the annual Provincial Research Colloquium in partnership with CUT and UFS and other stakeholders. Speaker, in addition to the Research Colloquium, the Provincial Treasury will publish the Socio-Economic Review and Outlook, the Municipal Economic Review and Outlook, and the Medium-Term Budget Policy Statement for the province, which we believe will assist our stakeholders in executing their respective works. The role of this program is to provide, Program 3, is to provide policy direction, facilitate effective and efficient management of assets, liabilities and financial management system, and procure transversal and cross-cutting goods and services. The 30-day payment. The financial capacity of our provincial departments and entities has experienced notably deterioration over the past 2 financial years. This decline is evidenced by the persistent challenges of the Free State provincial departments and entities face in meeting their obligations to pay suppliers within the prescribed 30-day period. Accruals from previous financial years continue to rise annually. This has been further compounded by inadequate cash flow, which has, in turn, resulted in the ability of some departments and entities to honor payments owed to suppliers from prior financial years. These mounting obligations have exerted significant pressure on the current department and the budget. The Free State Provincial Treasury remains steadfast in its oversight role. We will continue to closely monitor the performance of all departments and public entities, particularly their compliance with the 30-day payment requirement. Furthermore, we are committed to providing the necessary support and guidance to help departments address and resolve the root causes of non-compliance. Unethical behavior. In response to unethical behavior and alleged corrupt practices within our governance system, particularly instances where certain officials have reportedly demanded payments or so-called toll gates from suppliers, the Free State Provincial Treasury has over the years implemented robust grievance processes. These mechanisms enable suppliers and stakeholders to report unethical conduct and suspected corrupt activities within the provincial government framework. This reporting system ensures that the relevant accounting officers are empowered to investigate allegations, hold implicated individuals accountable, and enforce consequence management where necessary. Such measures reflect our continued commitment to promoting integrity, transparency, and ethical governance. The verification of staff or headcount. To address the persistent issue of verification of staff, the Free State Provincial Treasury is mandated to manage and maintain the PESAL system within the province. As part of this mandate, the Treasury provides technical support across all transversal systems and continue to build capacity within provincial departments to ensure these systems are used efficiently and effectively. To help departments align their personnel compensation budgets with the actual staffing reflected on PESAL system, the Treasury is committed to assisting with the implementation of headcount exercise. This strategy is critical to ensure that personnel budgets correspond with verified staffing structures, enabling departments to plan and make decisions based on the accurate and reliable workforce data. Honorable members, as we highlighted during the tabling of the provincial budget speech, the Provincial Treasury and the Office of the Premier, in collaboration with other departments, will spearhead a campaign under the theme, "Where is who and who is where?" This initiative aims to accurately verify the placement and the existence of personnel across provincial administration. Through this campaign, we intend to identify and significantly reduce the number of possible ghost employees within the system, thereby promoting efficiency, accountability, and the prudence of the use of public resource. Program 4. The role of the financial governance program is to promote accountability through substantive reflection of financial activities of the province, as well as compliance with financial norms and standards. Honorable Speaker, all provincial departments, public trading entities, and other funds submitted the required documents related to the annual financial statements in terms of Section 40 and 55 of the PFMMA by the end of May 2024 to the Auditor General. We are pleased to announce that for the first time in 9 years, the provincial PFMA audit outcomes had no adverse or disclaimer audit opinion. 10 of the 13 provincial departments, that including legislature, were able to obtain either a clean or unqualified audit with opinion for the 2023-2024 financial year. The audit outcomes for the 2023-2024 financial year again showed a slight improvement, with provincial treasury, legislature, and housing fund obtaining unqualified with no findings. It means it's a clean audit opinions, while 2 departments, namely sports, arts, culture and recreation, as well as human settlement, improved from qualified audit opinion to unqualified with findings audit opinions. Free State Development Corporation has improved from adversary or to a qualified audit opinion. Honorable Speaker, to enhance the quality of the annual financial statement and to consequently quality of consolidated financial statements in the 2023-2024 financial year, the Provincial Treasury has embarked on a number of initiatives, which amongst other includes the following: the quarterly interim financial statements of all departments, biannual financial of public entities, trading entities, the housing fund, and the legislature were assessed, and detailed assessment reports were provided by the accounting officers and CEOs with clear guidance on ratifications to be done. Monthly assessment letters are issued to the department heads and CEOs of the entities on the key control metrics, and monthly and quarterly combined reports are submitted to the MEC, Finance, Tourism and Economic Development, to forward the executive authorities for intervention if required, and the assessment reports are also forwarded to the chief audit executives and chairpersons of audit committees for their information and enhancement of their oversight. Honorable Speaker, it is imperative to bring to the attention of this august House that the province has recorded significant progress in curbing unwanted expenditure between the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 financial years. This marks a commendable milestone of which we as a province can be proud. However, we remain mindful that more effort is required to sustain and build on this progress. Departments and entities should still do more to curb it and finalize accumulated outstanding investigations. At the heart of building a capable and developmental state lies the Provincial Treasury's unwavering commitment to capacity building and oversight. To strengthen the internal audit function across the Free State government, the Provincial Treasury coordinated targeted training programs for internal auditors within departments, public entities, and municipalities. These programs included capacity building for implementing the global internal auditing standards, ensuring alignment with international best practices. Additionally, specialized training on the auditing of performance information was provided to enhance the quality and reliability of the performance data reported by the departments and entities. This forms part of our broader strategy to improve compliance, transparency, and performance accountability within public sectors. The Provincial Treasury's footprint in driving accountability is further evident through a range of initiatives to promote ethical governance and strengthening fraud prevention systems. These include enforcing fraud and ethics risk assessment, providing education and awareness campaign and fraud and corruption, and leverage our corporate membership and the Association of the Certified Fraud Examiners South Africa and the Institute of Risk Management South Africa to expose public servants to facet lifelong learning programs on enterprise risk management and anti-fraud strategy. It is for this reason that we also welcome the Premier's call today that there will be lifestyle audits. In line with the national vision of professionalizing the public sector, the Provincial Treasury will continue collaborating with professional bodies to build skills and foster excellency within public service. A notable milestone in this regard is the establishment of the Free State Northern Cape IRMSA subcommittee, which serves as a platform to support and professionalize the risk management in both provinces. This initiative is instrumental in facilitating the path towards achieving certified risk practitioners status, enhancing the capacity of government institutions to manage risk effectively and proactively. The program's role, the municipal finance management, the program's role is to promote and improve financial governance and management at the local government. Honorable members, we align ourselves with the call by the Honorable President Cyril Ramaphosa during the State of the Nation address to review local government white paper to modernize and strengthen the local government sphere. The provincial treasury has observed a concerning decline in the financial management capacity within our municipalities, which threatens the delivery of basic services. To respond to these challenges, an amount of 78.4 million is allocated to this program as part of recalibrated strategy to support municipalities in distress. Our support will focus on critical areas, including timely submission of quality annual financial statements, addressing revenue challenges and unfunded budgets, and curbing unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. To demonstrate our quest to turn around our financial health, the following municipalities are targeted for improvement: clean audits or unqualified with no findings, Lejwele Putswa and Thabo Mofutsanyane District, Tswelopele and Setsoto local municipalities. And for municipalities with disclaimers, we are intensifying our efforts to move them towards qualified audit outcomes at least. Honorable Speaker, to achieve the above, we urge municipalities to submit their draft financial statements and audit files to the Provincial Treasury for review and assessment by the 16th of August. There shouldn't be any extension that must be entertained. The Provincial Treasury will also be sourcing additional specialized support to assist with the preparation of high-quality AFS, enhancing revenue systems, and reducing the UIFWE. Honorable members, a major concern is most of our municipalities continue tabling of unfunded budgets, largely due to an unsustainable revenue basis. To address these, a dedicated municipal revenue team will be provided targeted support to 10 municipalities. We aim to increase the number of municipalities with funded budgets from 7 to at least 10 over the next MTREF. On the issue of the UIFWE, we will prioritize 10 municipalities with the highest level of such expenditure. Specialized support will be directed to Machabeng and Maluti Apofung local municipalities. To enforce accountability, our office will hold monthly engagements with mayors in collaboration with the MEC for COGTA. These meetings will also be led by the Premier. We'll track progress in areas like adoption of funded budgets, timely AFS submission, reduction of UFWE, and the billing and revenue collection improvement. We remain steadfast in our commitment to resolving the persistent challenges faced by our municipalities. These challenges include, among others, poor revenue collection, unfunded budgets, irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure, as well as late submission of quality or qualitative annual financial statements and outcomes. Honorable members, we draw strength and inspiration from the words of the former president of the ANC in the country, Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who once said, I quote, "Those who complete the course will do so only because they do not, as fatigue sets in, convince themselves that the road ahead is still too long, the inclines too steep, the loneliness impossible to bear, and the price itself of doubtful value." Close quote. Honorable Speaker, improving governance requires that all stakeholders play their roles effectively. To this end, monthly joint meetings between my office and the MEC of COGTA will be convened, and with the mayors to monitor funded budgets, AFS submission, and UIFE reduction and billing, and revenue collection improvements, and reporting to the Premier on the progress. Honorable members, I wish to stress that all municipal leaders, mayors, MPAC or MPEC chairpersons, MMCs for finance, audit committees chairs must ensure that monthly progress reports are tabled, discussed in council. These reports should track AFS preparation, the UIFW reduction, and the billing improvements. Honorable members, strengthening the capacity of provincial treasury remains a central priority as we continue to enhance financial governance and support across municipalities in the Free State. For some time now, the unit has been without a chief director, a vacancy that has impacted overall leadership and coordination of municipal financial oversight. The provincial treasury will be prioritizing the appointment of a qualified, capable, and experienced personnel to lead the critical program. This appointment is not just a filling of vacancy. It is about injecting stability, vision, and technical expertise into a unit that plays a pivotal role in promoting sound financial management at the local level. Municipalities must all implement and enforce credit control policies and bylaws while facing in cost-reflective tariffs over the next 3 to 5 years. At the same time, we must address inefficiencies and significant cost drivers such as employee-related costs and contracted services. These issues contribute to unaffordable tariffs and poor service delivery. The absence of performance management in some municipalities is also of great concern and must be urgently addressed. Honorable members, improving audit outcomes in municipalities across province remains a cornerstone in our ongoing pursuit of a sound financial government. Strengthened accountability and improved service delivery. In this regard, the Provincial Treasury, working in close collaboration with the Office of the Premier and the Department of Corporate Governance, continue to play a vital role in supporting municipalities in enhancing their financial management systems and institutional oversight. The coordinated effort ensures that municipalities are better positioned to meet audit standards, enforce financial controls, and adopt governance practices that are both sustainable and compliant. In line with this objective, the Honorable Premier has proactively engaged with the Mangaung municipality despite its status as a non-delegated municipality in a concerted effort to improve its audit outcomes. These engagements, held in collaboration with the Auditor General, served as a platform for the AGSA to provide comprehensive feedback on the Metro audit performance and highlight specific corroborative actions that must be undertaken to address the identified outcome. Furthermore, the engagement provided an opportunity to review the progress made in implementing the financial recovery plan, which remains a critical intervention to restore financial stability and operational effectiveness in that metro. Honorable members, these engagements reflect provincial government's unwavering commitment to improving audit outcomes, particularly within the metro municipality, which continues to play a central role in our broader governance framework. Together, we can turn around the state of local government and ensure efficient, accountable, and transparent financial. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, as we conclude to address, I wish to express my deepest appreciation to the Honorable Premier for her exemplary leadership and strategic foresight. Her guidance continues to shape the trajectory of our province and inspire confidence in our path. To my colleagues at the Executive Council, thank you for unwavering support. I also extend my sincere gratitude to the head of the department and the entire team for their exceptional work in preparing this vote speech. Their diligence and steadfast commitment to prudent financial management are truly commendable. To my family, I offer my heartfelt thanks for your unwavering support and understanding. Your encouragement remains a pillar of strength in fulfilling my responsibilities. I also like to extend my sincere appreciation to the people of Free State and particularly the resilient citizens of the Free State. Your patience, perseverance, and continued support amid the prevailing challenges are deeply appreciated and do not go unnoticed. Let us move forward together in purpose. Honorable Speaker, allow me to quote again the President of the ANC and the country, Mr. Mbeki, when he once said, Gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of time. Honorable Speaker, I table the 2025-2026 department budget.
We proceed now to debate on the Honorable MEC's presentation of the budget vote of the Free State Provincial Treasury. Honorable Member Manche.
What is your issue, Anna? What is your problem? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, Honorable Premier Premier Liswa Matai, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, members of the Executive Council, Marena rona o tla teng ka kwano ke le hlomphile, bo majoro, makhansela go tla ka kwano. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the budget vote 4 of Department of Treasury. On the 27th of April, 2025, it will be exactly 31 years since the birth of our democratic dispensation, which was ushered in 1994, when millions of our people exercised their right to vote for the very first time. When for the very first time, men and women of every color, language, religion, rich and poor, were granted an universal suffrage, our nation was born. Honorable Speaker, we recall and salute the heroism, the sacrifices, and the selflessness of our people who made it possible for all of us to live in a strong, vibrant democracy. We remember and salute our brothers and sisters in the African continent across the world whose solidarity made it possible for us to defeat apartheid, a crime against humanity. Honorable Speaker, through their determined struggle and effort, and ensuring that South Africa today have the possibility to build a just, united, and prosperous country. Honorable Speaker, this budget vote is presented under tough economic conditions. Our economic growth levels are very low, just below 0.1% a year per capita terms. The unemployment rate is very high, with about 31% of our province labor force unemployed. Poverty persists in our townships and rural areas. The wealth of our country is still concentrated in a few hands. The poor remains poor. These are some of the challenges or factors that call for a speedy resolution in the implementation of economic transformation. Socio-economic transformation, Honorable Speaker, is about fundamental change in the structure, systems, ownership patterns, management, and controls of the economy for all South Africans, especially the Black people. Honorable Speaker, our long-held view as the ANC is that government must use fiscal policy effectively to intensify its fight against poverty, inequality, prioritize infrastructure maintenance and investment, as well as advancing the country's overall industrialization and employment creation objectives. Honorable Speaker, allow me to briefly reflect on the mandate of the Free State Provincial Treasury and its central role in building a developmental state capable of implementing priorities of government. The Provincial Treasury is responsible for all financial matters in the province. It is the duty of Provincial Treasury to ensure that provincial budget and budgetary processes promote transparency, accountability, and effective management of the economy. Honorable Speaker, in broad terms, this implies that Treasury must discharge its responsibility to facilitate a process where the state creates enabling environment for inclusive economic growth and job creation that will not only allow business to thrive, but also to ensure that services are effectively delivered to our people. We strongly believe as the ANC that this department must play a significant role and must have the necessary capacity in terms of human capital in order to ensure that government systems is fully functional and its service delivery machinery funded is responds to the needs of the citizen. Honorable Speaker, we make this point precisely because Provincial Treasury supports 9 sister departments and 24 municipalities along 7 provincial entities, including the legislature and external stakeholders. The provincial treasury faces rising pressure to provide fiscal and technical support to these partners as they respond to ongoing increases in demand for public services within limited resources in envelope. This continues to place added mandate on the provincial budgeting and financial management processes. Specifically, demand for developmental and infrastructure-related response are also placing pressure on supply chain and asset management system and elevating the importance of such as unemployment, inequality, poverty, infrastructure constraints, which demands of us to provide innovative solutions and collaborative efforts from both the public and private sector. Honorable Speaker, understanding the economy realities of the Free State requires placing our province within the broader context of South Africa, a nation that, despite the abundant resources, is classified amongst the least developed countries. This classification highlights the shared economic challenges we face with other nations in this category. As we contend with the complexity of the global economic system, each country in this group has its own distinct characteristics, yet all are united in the daunting task of overcoming systematic underdevelopment and thriving towards sustainable prosperity. A significant feature of the Free State economy evolution is the rise and growing influence of the finance sector. This development is not an isolated occurrence, but part of the larger global trend towards financialization, where financial services and institutions increasingly drive economic activities and shape growth patterns. The expansion of the financial sector presents both opportunities and challenges. On the other hand, it promises economic diversification, increased investment and innovation, potentially serving as a catalyst for development and job creation. On the other hand, it requires careful management to ensure that the benefits of financial growth are equitably distributed and that the economy remains resilient to global financial fluctuations. Honorable Speaker, transition from underdevelopment to a more prosperous state necessitates harnessing the potential of the finance sector while addressing the structural barriers that impede progress. This includes or involves investing in education, infrastructure, technology, fostering an environment conducive to entrepreneurship, and implementing policies that promote inclusivity and sustainable growth. Honorable Speaker, the economic journey of the Free State reflects the broader challenges and opportunities faced by at least developed countries globally. By strategically leveraging the rise of the financial sector, we can pave the way for a more equitable and prosperous future, ensuring that our people share economic advancements we achieve. The Free State economy contributes about 4.9% towards the South African economy or our GDP. And this share has been maintained since 2013 and has a bearing on the fiscal allocation to the province received through equitable share formula. This requires us to harness new synergies between private and public sector to tackle the blockages hindering economic growth in our province. The province is still or has a comparative advantage in agriculture, mining, electricity, and community services, while its stress index is slowly rising in the transport industry. We cannot afford to lose out on any private sector investment opportunity. Honorable Speaker, by challenging the resources and expertise of diverse stakeholders to efficiently address public needs, Triple Ps are essential game changer in addressing the country's many developmental and infrastructure challenges. MEC, we welcome the IDMS system. This system will not only assist in making sure that we monitor and implement our projects as expected, but it will also ensure that we've got a reliable asset register. Honorable Speaker, these projects include hospitals, transport, roads, tourism, office accommodation, as well as agro-processing, the provincial industrial parks, the discovery of natural gas that has recently been done in Nijolipuza, and the development of provincial green economy. Of all this, we must be aware, or we must undertake the fact that sole objective of addressing current gaps in terms of capacity, enhancing service delivery, boosting economic growth, and fostering sustainable development for our communities. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to conclude this budget vote, or the support of the budget vote by the MEC, by reminding ourselves that the provincial treasury needs to play an important role in holding a mirror to ourselves, helping us to reflect on policies we must pursue and with vigor to rise our growth. Over and above that, we would have to improve our standards of living and recognize and understand the cost imposed on all of us by the scourge of poverty. Honorable Speaker, while we endorse this particular budget vote and support the Department of the Premier as well as the Department of Treasury, it must be noted that while playing this important role, Premier, by provincial treasury, it should also recognize that they are not beyond reproach. All, like other departments, were equal, and they must be bound by the same regulation and prescripts. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member Klute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Who is where and where is who? The MEC is playing hide and seek. I would never thought I'd hear the MEC playing hide and seek. Who's where and where's who? I will focus on Program 5, the Municipal Finance Management, which aims to, and I quote, improve the state of financial governance and management of local government. In simple terms, we spend money to help municipalities manage their money better. So how's that going? Speaker, I've seen some of the 2023-2024 municipal audit outcomes. It's a mess. According to the Auditor General, municipal audit results have remained stagnant for the past 3 years, despite 71 million rand on reporting consultants. That's 16 million more than the previous year. Every single municipality has been classified as doing harm. And out of the 9 municipalities nationwide that failed to submit financial statements or submitted them late, 6 are from the Free State. Remember, if you don't submit, you cannot account for money spent. Now, MEC Mokoena says the poor performance stems from 2 things: a lack of qualified officials and delays in critical appointments. I agree, but for different reasons, MEC Mokoena. For 31 years, the ANC has diminished the talent pool by enforcing race-based laws that prioritize skin color over merit. Vacancies exist since ANC factions can't agree on which cadres to appoint with the most kickbacks. But there are solutions, Speaker. So let's start with oversight. Now, the Premier we just heard is on very dangerous terrain when she thinks she can dictate how oversight should be done. Speaker, she will not dictate or deter me from my constitutional responsibility to oversee her and the MEC sitting here. It's both disrespectful to the Speaker and to this institution, and the Constitution and the principle of separation of power. Only dictators operate in such a manner. We need meaningful oversight with real consequences, Speaker. Second, it's time to scrap affirmative action and BEE. We must build a capable state based on merit. Thank you.
Can you take yours?
Isn't that it, willing to take a question, please?
I'm finished. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Member Mbalula.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Chief Whip Ndate Khwabane, Chair of Chairs Ndate Meku, esteemed members of this august House, Honorable Premier Makwin Litsoa Matai, honorable colleagues in the Free State Executive Council, ladies and gentlemen of the media, basebeletsi ba mmuso bohle ba teng mo, marena rona le ona kaofela ha bona, bomme le bontate dumelang. I rise here today as a proud deployee of the African National Congress in full support of the budget vote speech for the Provincial Treasury. The Free State Treasury serves as a bedrock of prudent financial management, fiscal oversight, and good governance in our province. And so, this budget must be understood as a strategic instrument. It is a progressive commitment that gives practical expression to the ideals of the National Democratic Revolution. It is pro-poor, it is aligned with the ANC-led government priorities, and most importantly, it places local government at the coalface of service delivery to ensure that basic needs of our people are met with speed and urgency. Honorable Speaker, this is a budget of the people, for the people. It is unapologetically biased towards the poor and the working class, in line with our historic mission to redress the injustices of apartheid, from which some amongst us here immensely benefited. This is what we mean when we talk about radical economic transformation. That is deliberate reordering of our economy and the state to address the basic needs of the majority of our people. This budget is aligned with the broader vision envisioned in the National Development Plan, as well as the Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan of our country. It responds to the clarion call to build a capable, ethical, and developmental state. Honorable Speaker, through this budget, the department clearly commits itself to ensure value for money, improved oversight, and accountability. It commits itself to rooting out fruitless and wasteful expenditure and ensuring that public resources are used to uplift our communities. We are happy that the budget, as presented by MEC Makume, correctly recognizes the centrality of the municipalities as a sphere of government that is closest to the people and thus located at the coalface of service delivery. The budget rightly places a particular emphasis on building capacity at the local government level to ensure that municipalities are well-resourced, well-governed, and able to drive integrated development across. We commend the department for its targeted support in ensuring compliance with 30-day payment according to the PFMA. This is necessary in the current economic climate, especially for small, medium, and macro enterprises that depend on timely payment to stay afloat. This will help to stimulate local economy, empower emerging entrepreneurs, and restore the confidence in our government. Another important commitment in the budget is the support to departments and public entities to help them improve their audit outcomes. This support is fundamental in helping departments achieve unqualified or clean audits, and more broadly, in ensuring that public funds are used properly. We welcome the commitment to invest 10 million in strengthening cybersecurity measures across the provincial government. This is a welcomed investment and one that shall institutionalize cybersecurity as opposed to merely treating it as a by the way. We applaud the efforts by the department to strengthen processes through which to report cases where officials demand bribes or the so-called toll gates from service providers. The 7th administration is combat ready to surgically remove such officials from the public service and replace them with upright South Africans who are yearning to for opportunities to serve. For this and other reasons, there is no doubt that the Provincial Treasury has a strategic role to play in ensuring that municipalities are capacitated to manage public funds effectively, comply with good governance frameworks, and deliver quality services to the people. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, this budget vote speaks to the heart of our historic mission as the African National Congress. It is indeed a step forward in our pursuit of the inclusive economy, social cohesion, and the total emancipation of our people. It is a practical demonstration of the ANC's enduring commitment to build a South Africa that truly belongs to all who live in it. And so, the African National Congress welcomes and supports this budget because it affirms our long-standing commitment to transform the apartheid spatial and economic landscape, to advance the interests of the poor, and to build an inclusive, non-racial, and non-sexist society. I thank you.
Honorable Msimang, can we switch off that mic, please? Honorable Msimang, switch off that mic. Mic one. Comrade Nanyani, hela, me, agagopa wena, chokopa ndada switches off, last light right here.
Honorable Speaker, the Provincial Chair of EFF in the Province of Free State, Deputy Secretary of the Province, Provincial Treasurer, Morena Moholo Mopedi, Marenaga, Homudzeo le manamane a tsona. Re utlwile mona slogan se setjha se re who is where is who. At least rona ra tseba gore since Honorable Mbalula tloa mangao re tseba di whereabouts tsa hae o ntse a na le rona mona. Honorable Speaker, re na le mathata. For the past 8 years, Masilonyane has been getting disclaimed. For the past 5 years, Malutapofu has been getting a disclaimer. Because like about 10 years, for the past 3 years, Nketwana has been getting a disclaimer. And we have heard this rhetoric, MEC, that you are going to handle it better and then you have better ways, turnaround strategy, all manner of ways, but they remain where they are. A worst part, when you go to Mafube, it was also joined the bandwagon of disclaimer. Mohokari, there's also joined the bandwagon of disclaimer audit opinion. So, what is even worse with Mohokari is that they're basically deducting from employees, but the money doesn't go to the third parties. Ha batho ba hlokahala, ha batho ba tswa ba tlameha ba retrenchuwe, ba retire, ha ba kgone ho thola tjhelete tsa bona. Motho o sebetsa ba bane le 70 years, a sa thole di benefits tsae. You have not told us as to whether, how are you going to deal with that issue in particular, Honorable MEC? You are quiet around it. And it's affecting our people directly, for that matter, including that Kopano. Honorable MEC, I heard you have announced the team that you will be working with, which includes the Premier. I know I keep out last. Amongst other things, is that the very same Premier, where she comes from, Department of Roads and Transport, she dropped that department from unqualified to a qualified audit opinion. Now, even now as Auditor General expresses audit opinion, we're not hearing her nearer to unqualified report. It's a problem on its own. You are making a bold statement, but that bold statement is not easy for us to believe what you are saying, because the experience tells us a different story altogether. That is unbelievable. The other thing, we've heard this rhetoric, but 8 billion out of 43 billion goes on litigations, which means 20% of the Free State budget goes on litigations. You know what happens there? People are channeling money there. They are playing javelin and then they will go and fetch it to these different law companies. That's how people chow our money. And then 10 billion goes on fruitless and wasteful expenditure, which means 25% of the budget is on fruitless and wasteful expenditure. That on its own, it tells us a different story. That re romme di fariki mo kopung, ha di no khutla le ona, o tlo khutla o fedile. Ke mathata a rona. So we have been told batho tlameile ba patale
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let me take this opportunity to apologize for this technical glitch that we had. We hope that it will not be a common occurrence. We apologize profusely. And okay. Honour Member, Sima, your time was left with 3 minutes. But because you behaved well, I'll give you the 4 minutes.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, Honorable MEC, it goes without saying that not every rand collected goes on service delivery. Others goes on javelin and then they will get it on the other side. That's how it happens. Honorable MEC, I had thought that you will talk about Sasolfem in particular, because it's taking a lot of plastic and it's exporting it as raw as it is to other countries. It comes back to South Africa as Tupperware and other products. It's not Sasolfem taking plastic outside, Honorable MEC. It's Sasol taking our jobs that should be benefiting people of Free State, that should be benefiting people where you are coming from, MEC, for that matter. And as part of ensuring that there be economic growth, I had thought that you look on some of those things. Not only that, in South Africa, we're basically consuming billion chickens. Out of that billion chickens, 30 million is produced South Africa. 970 million chickens were importing it from outside. It tells you that's where a lot of jobs will be created if we can give it a clear focus. Let's check all things that we are using on daily basis. We are using Vascoms, we are using Vaslabs and other things on daily basis. Why don't we create jobs around such things that we are using on daily basis? So, Honorable MEC, let me attend to issues that all of you at the side of the ANC that you are fearing to correct. Because, like Dix, may his soul rest in peace, the hot that had the bene ensemont can ni bluff ni, as thy one can bluff, the bene can aid fall and thy one can honger for it. Lena le problem of correcting your own premier even when she's doing things wrong. It is wrong of premier to come here and put a bold statement that a legislature which must keep the executive accountable will be denied to do so because, amongst other things, they think that we'll go and do our oversight. She can't control our movements. We are hired to do so, and will definitely do so without fear and or favor, and will not accept that behavior. And to go to an extent that are wrong way, who has sent Honorable Jankelson to raise those views? She must, if she wants to fight the speaker, she must fight the speaker in our absence. There's no way we are getting in their cat fights. So, moving forward, you need to be a decisive MEC if these things are really to pull through. If you are not prepared to be decisive, I can tell you everything that you have planned is going to collapse in your face. You must be in a position to even say no to the premier, but I'm not sure as to whether you will have guts to say so. Because in Treasury, you need someone who's decisive, who's bold enough to follow policy position to the latter, even if powers be, they think differently around such policy positions. Thank you very much, Speaker, for this platform. Thank you very much.
Honour Member Leach. Honourable Member Leach, you may continue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Member Manje, one word from you, you will be out of this house. One word from you. Honourable Member, that coach, when I remember Manje, one word from each of you. Let I lunch. You can continue.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It feels as if we are busy with the education speech. Honourable Speaker, Jack Welch said, good business leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion. Sadly, in the Free State, this principle seemed to have been lost in the fog of mismanagement, misallocation, and missed opportunities. Honourable Speaker, the Democratic Alliance welcomes any robust financial governance and institutions capable of managing their own funds, but we do object, and strongly do so, to the department's allocation of the budget. Due to persistent, unwanted expenditure, poor financial controls, and a lack of accountability across other departments and municipalities within the Free State. More can certainly be done to fulfill its mandates and core functions. With regards to oversight of other departments and public entities, for perspective, we find ourselves here debating the merits of a budget in a province where only 2 entities managed to achieve clean audits in the 2023-2024 financial year, while the province is estimated to have an overspending of 1.8 billion rand. And we speak of that as if it is pocket change. But 1.8 billion rand is 1,800 million rand. Take the provincial treasury's own numbers. Of the 384 million rand allocated to the department, 289 million will be spent on employee costs. That is 75% of its budget spent on salaries. This does not include what is spent on consultants. And while the department is not a direct service delivery department, its mandate is clear. It is responsible for exercising control over the implementation of provincial budgets, promoting effective financial and asset management across departments and municipalities, and intervening where there are serious PFMA and MFMA breaches. If this mandate were being carried out effectively, we could justify the allocation, but that is simply not the case. Municipalities under financial intervention continue to struggle, and in some cases, the very officials who were meant to assist them were never even appointed. It's both ironic and tragic that the provincial and national governments intervene in dysfunctional municipalities only to withhold the very resources needed to turn them around. In the coming financial year, 78 million rand is budgeted under Program 5 for municipal finance management. Of that, 44.2 million is set aside for employee costs. One can only hope that this year, those positions are filled and that we finally see the kind of meaningful support that can help stabilize our municipalities. The DA has made firm and realistic recommendations to turn this situation around, and they have been adopted by this House. Treasury should look beyond simply transferring funds and instead deploy skilled professionals such as chartered accountants to these municipalities. Progress reports must be submitted to PROPAC to verify that funds are achieving real outcomes and delivering value for money. Oversight must be intensified over infrastructure projects with systems, resources, and budgets aligned accordingly. In addition, several million rand was lost to the department as it failed to appoint the very same officials who were supposed to assist municipalities with sound financial management, specifically those who are under Rule 139 interventions. It is ironic that provincial and national government places these municipalities under intervention and then fails to provide them with the necessary resources in order to turn things around. Honourable Speaker, with regards to provincial departments, the Democratic Alliance would like to again state that the departments of education, health, community safety and roads, as well as the legislature, are severely underfunded, while departments such as the STIA and the Premier are overfunded. Through you, Honourable Speaker, to date, the Committee of Education and Health has this year not conducted one field oversight. Not one. The budget should be more balanced, aimed at providing services and opportunities for growth, the lack of which has driven several residents and investors to other provinces, taking with them their money and their jobs, lowering our population, and effectively, those are the numbers taken into consideration when our contribution to the GDP is calculated, resulting in the Free State receiving 64 million rand less than the previous financial year. In short, Honourable Speaker, the ANC is chasing away our investors. They are chasing away the money that's supposed to come to the Free State due to mismanagement. In addition, it is vital that a proper and effective process be followed in order to determine the Free State's true contribution to the GDP, which informs our equitable share. Not all people who make use of our entities and infrastructure necessarily reside within our borders. The Free State is the most central province, and our roads link provinces and countries with each other, as well as harbours, international airports, and economic hubs. Our universities are temporary homes to several thousands of students from other provinces, all using our infrastructure. Many residents from Lesotho also rely on the Free State for educational, health, and economic needs. These are factors which should be considered. At the same time, our central position comes with its own challenges. We face rising cross-border crime, especially stock theft. Our roads are deteriorating from overuse, particularly by heavy-duty vehicles. The already strained health system must accommodate patients from neighbouring provinces and across the border, and schools near Lesotho often take in students from outside the country. These pressures are not reflected in the current budget, nor is there any meaningful effort to reallocate funds to meet these realities. Also concerning is that under financial governance, 30 million rand is reserved for employee costs, not considering consultant fees under goods and services. These are the people who we entrust with monitoring the finances of departments and municipalities, and yet the Department of Education could not pay service providers in the last quarter. SARS, the pension fund, and medical aids for teachers were neglected. We even needed to pass a second adjustment budget in January just to keep our lights on. Meanwhile, clinics and hospitals are running out of medicine, and hospital beds are becoming increasingly scarce. The ANC government believes that problems can be solved by simply throwing money at them. But the current management system is failing, and the Democratic Alliance is deeply concerned. PROPAC has listed the following issues: inadequate consequence management, insufficient financial and performance reporting, poor expenditure management, and weak contract management, which negatively impact financial management and service delivery. Honourable Speaker, the Democratic Alliance cannot support this vote. We need a budget that is balanced, strategic, and accountable. We need leadership that does not just talk about vision, but implements it with purpose and integrity. The time for excuses has long passed, and the people of the Free State want results. I close with the words of Kenneth Chenault, who said, "Many people don't focus enough on execution. If you make a commitment to get something done, you need to follow through on that commitment." And I just also want to emphasize the fact that the reason why there is economic stability currently, it is brought about by political stability. The moment that there were any rumors of the DA not being part of the GNU, the rand weakened. The DA brings stability and economic growth. I thank you.
Honourable Member Rockman.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Members of the Executive and members of the Legislature, our traditional leadership, local government leadership and management of our provincial government. We appreciate the opportunity to participate in this debate. The space that Provincial Treasury is required to navigate, ensuring that the Free State receives its appropriate portion of the total available provincial equitable share, whilst also executing its mandate in accordance with the 5 budget programs of the vote, should be seen in the context of the provincial equitable share allocated to provinces. The provincial equitable share takes up 56.9% of the total direct charges to the National Revenue Fund, followed by debt service costs, which accounts for 38.2% of direct charges. These figures illustrate the importance of the reduction of government debt and its associated debt service costs. Managing the cost of servicing debt is not merely a fiscal exercise. It is a necessary step to ensuring long-term sustainability of our economy and the ability of government to continue delivering essential services to our people. Over the 2025 MTF, 49.8% of non-interest spending is allocated to provinces and local government. Of this, 41.9% is allocated to provinces, whilst 9.7% is allocated to local government. The minor upward adjustment of the provincial equitable share for 2025-26 may not be sufficient to meet the spending needs of provinces when taking into account the over-expenditure of 3.1% relative to the total provincial equitable share budget in 2023-24. Allow me to briefly address a few key issues relating to this budget vote before the House. On the public sector wage bill, the rising public sector wage bill has been a consistent concern in the fiscal space. We welcome the introduction of the early retirement initiative for public servants aged 55 and above. It is a progressive and strategic step forward, one that not only helps to ease fiscal pressure, but also creates an opportunity to rejuvenate the public service by bringing in young talent equipped with fresh ideas and new energy. We also take note that Provincial Treasury will be assisting with the implementation of headcount exercises in all departments. We should take cognizance of the Financial and Fiscal Commission's proposal that a comprehensive performance and employee audit is essential to identify redundant positions and address the issue of shirking workers employed in hybrid or remote settings. Concurrently, a salary review and benchmarking exercise of job descriptions should accompany restructuring efforts to ensure that necessary skills are retained for passing over skills and effective service delivery know-hows to the next generation of public civil servants. These proposals may add additional dimension to the benefits to be derived from the early retirement incentive and headcounts. Through these measures, we believe government is moving in the right direction towards a more sustainable and efficient public sector, and we support the continued efforts to drive prudent financial management for the benefit of all South Africans. Honourable Manse elaborated on the critical importance of infrastructure developments, emphasizing the need for collaboration. We fully support the initiatives taken by Provincial Treasury to strengthen its oversight role on infrastructure delivery. The delivery of infrastructure projects stands at the very heart of our province's growth and transformation, with emphasis on 2 factors. Infrastructure to be delivered on time and within the allocated budget. Infrastructure is not merely about roads, bridges, schools and clinics. It is about igniting economic growth, attracting investment, and most importantly, creating jobs for our people. Every project that the province delivers successfully is a step towards revitalizing our economy and restoring the dignity of our communities. To this end, our government remains resolute in its commitment to delivering infrastructure projects that are not only high in quality, but also executed within allocated timeframes and financial parameters. Delays and cost overruns on the delivery of infrastructure projects do not only erode public trust, but it hampers service delivery and stall economic progress. Capacity building within Treasury's infrastructure unit is therefore supported. We also welcome the fact that Treasury has concluded a comprehensive plan that will empower teams with the skills, systems, and tools required to manage infrastructure projects more effectively. This initiative will ensure that we derive maximum value for every rand spent with improved oversight, reduced wastage, and enhanced project delivery. On the baseline review, in the current financial year, Provincial Treasury will lead a consultative process to review budget baselines across all departments. This is a very necessary initiative, as we have to maintain investment in our she sector departments, that is social development, health and education, whilst equally attending to the repositioning of the budget to strengthen economic growth. This review will enable Provincial Treasury to conduct further in-depth analysis and scenario planning on possible fluctuations in equitable share allocations and developments regarding conditional grants, especially in the outer years of the MTF period. The baseline review initiative is directly aligned to our commitment to fiscal sustainability. The baseline allocation of the Free State Legislature must be included in the review to ensure that the legislature is able to meet its constitutional obligations, particularly with regard to oversight, public participation, and appropriate funding allocations to enable political parties to operate in an efficient and effective manner. Oversight in the legislative context and monitoring and evaluation in provincial government should not be confused and used interchangeably. Each has its own role and place. But investment in the legislature is a direct investment in strengthening our democracy. On supply chain and 30-day payments, we welcome the strengthening of supply chain management systems throughout province-wide outreach programs. These initiatives are not only enhancing transparency and compliance, but are also helping local suppliers understand procurement processes better, thus improving their chances of participating meaningfully in government tenders. One of the cornerstones of supporting small and medium enterprises is our adherence to the 30-day payment regulation. When we delay payments, we compromise the very survival of our SMMEs, the lifeblood of our economy. Timely payments ensure business continuity, help preserve jobs, and inject much-needed liquidity into the local economy. We therefore support the initiative taken by Provincial Treasury to ensure that all departments and entities continue prioritizing this as a non-negotiable obligation. Linked to this is improving our ability to track empowerment of women, youth, and people with disability throughout government. And Treasury and DITSTIA will continue to lead the provincial government's work in this regard. An assertion that it is time to end BEEE is so misplaced in this debate that it is not worth exploring. On financial governance, Honourable Speaker, we must acknowledge and congratulate Provincial Treasury when it comes to efficient and effective financial governance of its own affairs. Its achievement of clean audit status for 3 consecutive years sets an example for the rest of provincial and local government. Achieving clean audit status is not just an accounting outcome. It is a signal of accountability, integrity, and a government that cares. Programme 4 of Treasury's budget vote houses the Office of the Provincial Accountant General, one of the lesser known but critical functions in Provincial Treasury. It is a central point of our accounting norms and standards and plays a key role as coordinator and intermediary during the provincial audit process. We wish to urge Provincial Treasury to ensure that this program is fully supported from both human resource and financial capacity perspective, and one would argue that it deserves a higher allocation amongst the budget programs than it is getting. Clean governance is, of course, essential for effective service delivery and fiscal sustainability. To that extent, we will continue to support the Provincial Treasury to lead a robust clean audit program, supporting municipalities to improve governance, compliance, and financial management. Of equal importance is Provincial Treasury and COGTA must place additional emphasis on performance planning and reporting to ensure that our local government sector reports accurately and transparently on service delivery. In addition to this, we appreciate that the Municipal Support Program continued to assist municipalities to improve their financial management practices, including revenue collection systems. This is critical for long-term sustainability and enables municipalities to become self-sufficient in funding the services of our people on a daily basis. We echo the sentiments of Honourable Mbalula as he reflected on the dynamics of our local government sector. Indeed, collaborating with SALGA will further enhance our ability of municipalities to improve their performance. I think the comments of the EFF further emphasizes the need that the municipal support program should be intensified. Honourable Speaker, as we continue this journey of renewal, our collective commitment, transparent governance and smart investment in infrastructure and agriculture will unlock the full potential of our province. Together we can build a capable state, foster economic development and bring lasting change to our communities. Let us remain firm in our resolve, focused on our actions and united in our purpose to build a better, inclusive and thriving province for all. We support the budget vote of Provincial Treasury as tabled. Thank you.
The Honourable MEC, can now reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and once more greetings to all the protocol observe. Honorable Klute, I deliberately started my budget speech with a constitutional preamble. The reason is to show you that whatever that we do, it is in line with the Constitution. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the country. We can't do anything outside. So the Constitution says to us, we are expected to heal the injustice of the past. So you can't come and stand here and fight something that you know in the past it was done. In the past, apartheid system used to have job reservations, which were only reserved for white people. So in trying to balance and redress the injustices of the past, you'll always have affirmative action, you'll have land expropriation without compensation, because in 1913, you also took away the land and deny us our ownership. So these are just simple things. You deny us education, we are putting the Bella Act to redress the imbalance of the past. So all these things, they are just aiming, they are within the Constitution, they are not outside Constitution. So it's not a reverse apartheid, it's a redress. The second thing, the issue of merit, don't attach it to race. Because this country where it is, it was one race that was ruling over above other races. The colors, the black people and the Africans were denied the rights by white race. So really you can't come about, talk about merit, but then you put race, don't attach race to it. Merit is a human thing. Every human being born with a potential and talent, irrespective of race. And corruption also, you can't really attach it to any race. There are white people who are corrupt, there are black people who are corrupt. So there's nothing that you can really attach to race. So don't come and stand here and say the ANC is putting a black agenda. In the first place, we are the only organization, I think, that respect the people of this country, both black and white. It is precisely the reason that we have adopted the Freedom Chart as a guiding document, which accept that the people of this country are black and white. I'm not sure if your organization does say that. Now, on the issue of municipal audit, in the past, the support to municipalities was in the form of systems, the training and direct financial support. What we have decided is that we have identified the main issue now, which remains the human capacity, something that we are trying to resolve. Hence, we have decided to redeploy hands-on support by experts, including the chartered accountants, who will go practically to municipalities, become hands-on on resolving some of the issues. Honorable Msimang, bothata ba go le motlakase o ga o qadile ka difariki tsa tswa jwale tsa lo loma motlakase. But Honorable Msimang and Honorable Leach, let me just give you one educational lesson. Today is the budget of the Department of Treasury. On the 18th of March, it was the medium-term expenditure framework budget, which talks about the issues that we have been raising here. Allocation to other departments, all those things, they are about the budget that has passed, that you were here when it was tabled. But because you always sleep in Parliament, because you've got an agenda of only campaigning, you did not find right to argue at that time. You find today an agenda which is about, or the budget which is only about 5 programs, which I have mentioned here.
Honourable Member.
Can you please advise MEC to address the House, not the individual, please? Because he's busy saying Honorable Msimanga, Honorable Msimanga. We are not Honorable Msimanga, all of us here. Okay. Thank you.
I thought Honorable Zamar thought you about referencing.
Please address
referencing, but true, the fact of it that when you reference, you will definitely quote the names, but it does not mean I speak to you. I'm just quoting what you say. The most important thing that you must understand is that the budget that deals with the economic trends of the country, it was done on the 18th. Today we are dealing with the department. I wanted that to be understood so that we don't get confused along this thing. But I agree with Honorable Simanga that we really need to work hard to strengthen the work of municipalities, because that's a government that is closer to our people. It must really deliver. And Honorable Leach, I've made a confession here and a commitment that we really need to deal with the issue of compensation of employees. I even admitted here that it is not sustainable. We really need to do something about it. So we need to become responsible and work smart to ensure that these things are not. There was one honorable member who talks about a javelin. We have said it many times. If you see something that is unlawful, if you've got any other thing that you know it's not according to the laws of this country, there's a police station somewhere. There are many laws of, agencies that deals with laws. Just report the case. We can't come and grandstand about the corrupt activities that are happening outside. We really need to report them and act. So if you know anyone who has been doing the javelin, go and report that case. It must not be an issue that we come here and grandstand and do nothing about. You're also correct, Honorable Leach, by acknowledging and agreeing with us that our approach to filling the critical positions in the MFMA and deploying experts to municipalities will really impact positively to the work that we are trying to do. I was clear that we are going to conduct the baseline reviews to find efficiency in all the departments. This is the department that is going to do that, not something different. So we are saying the Department of Treasury.
Honourable Member, can you take your seat? Honourable Member Johnson.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I just want to know if the Honourable MEC will take a question. He does have lots of time.
MEC, will you take a question?
Not now, after the meeting. So the compensation of employees is not sustainable. We have admitted, but we have also admitted that we really need to review the baseline efficiency in all the departments. This will assist us in ensuring that the departments such as Education, Public Works are better founded. But we'll be doing it as a department. There was an issue that was raised by Honorable Klute, which is also important, about the merit. We have said that we really need to reskill our people. I even said the skills audit must not be about punitive measures. It must be about, or it should be a developmental approach to assist these people to be skilled so that they are able to service our people and give them qualitative services. The issue of skills gap in financial accounting should be a concern to all municipalities, as it touches all areas, being tariff settings, analytical reviews, score, implementation, budgeting, and quality of the AFS. So that is why we have said we really need to do it. But we are also extending it to other departments so that they can look at those things. But lastly, in future, let's try, for all of us, particularly from the opposition, let us try to be responsible. The building of this province, it is all in our hands. It is not in the hands of government. Each and everyone is expected to contribute positively to ensure that our people get better services, but ultimately to get a better life. That better life, it is my responsibility, it is your responsibility, it is our responsibility. Thank you very much.
The reply by the MEC concludes the debate on vote 4, the Free State Provincial Treasury. Honourable members, on behalf of the Free State Legislature, I would like to wish the citizens of this beautiful and great province a blessed and joyous Easter weekend. To all our Christian brothers and sisters, may this sacred time help you reflect on the resurrection of Jesus Christ and bring you joy, peace, and renewal. May you be blessed with hope that endures, love that uplifts, peace that comes, and joy that overflows. May this Easter season bring you closer to your loved ones, your community, and your faith. To all road users, let's work together to ensure a safe Easter weekend. We must adhere to our road safety and traffic laws all the time. Let us be vigilant, patient, and courteous on our roads. May God bless our roads and keep us safe as we travel during this Easter weekend. Before the House adjourns, I wish to make the following announcements. One, that the honorable members and guests will remain standing while the procession of the Speaker leaves the House. That guests will remain at their allocated seats while members leave the House. The House shall now adjourn until further notice. The House is adjourned.